Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Mikey McNuggets, Dustin Fox, G. Bush coming at you on the panel. We got Anthony and Director Steve behind the glass. And guys, we got a gigantic show for you. We have two in-studio guests coming up in a little bit. But before we dive into all the football and baseball topics, because the Guardians keep on winning, G.
Yeah.
They keep pulling us back in like they do. We got to talk about something, Dustin, you had a chance to do over the last few days. You were in Dallas.
I was.
Participating in a mock college football playoff selection committee situation,
This
I
is
guess
wild.
is how you'd call it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And,
it was pretty cool.
You guys came up with a different top four than the actual committee did last year. So give us a little insight on that whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. So ESPN, every year, we get 12 slots to send, analysts, reporters, play-by-play. And so my partner and I, Matt Schumacher, got to go down there with some of the other ESPN analysts and play-by-play guys and a couple of reporters as well. And so we actually sat in the same room. This was held at the Gaylord, Texas hotel right outside of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. I mean, it's like 10 minutes from the airport. Super convenient, but this crazy hotel.
Incredible hotel.
It's the exact same hotel where they actually have the voting process and do the selection committee meets for the 5 weeks where they do the college football playoff rankings. And so we're in the same room. We all, you get there the first day. You kind of check in. We have a nice meal. And we're eating, really good food. I mean, it's the same chef that cooks for these people on the committee. And then I was Mark D'Antonio for the day on Tuesday.
Good choice.
Your boy, your guy.
We all pretended to be somebody. I mean, it didn't really matter. We just sat in their chair and then went through the process. They gave us a binder. We had to pick our top 30 teams after the regular season.
30 teams is what?
They do top 30 teams for going into it. And it's just a crazy process. It's a very thorough process, and it was very enlightening. And, Mac Rhodes, who's the athletic director at Baylor, he's the chair of the college football playoff this year. He was in the room. He was the one voter, on the selection committee that was actually there with us. Rich Clark, who's the executive director, was also there. And their whole crew, their data folks, I mean, the people that actually provide the information, they're all there. And they're walking us through the process. And we had very heated debates about the process. So we did a mock selection, which took we were in there from 9 a.m. until 1 o'clock. 4 hours, really coming up with our top 25.
Do they give you guardrails? Or do people, I kind of imagine it as a deliberation where jury pool, where you're in there with 12 people and somebody come in with their mind made up. Mm-hmm. Nah, dog, Alabama's not going on this in this committee or not going on the Final Four or to playoffs. Did they give you some parameters, or they kind of just give you the information and then you walk through it?
Well, I mean, there's multiple segments of how it goes, and you initially put in your top 30 teams, and those teams go into this pool. And then from those 30 teams, it creates, the top 30 you got to pick from, and then you have to go top 6, and then from the top 6 you get the top, end up at the top 4,
keep dwindling
and then
it down,
and then
down,
you keep
down.
dwindling it down. I mean, the process is so thorough, and the debate is great because there's really not a hung jury situation because you continuously go back and talk about the data points and up on the board. I mean, you have conversations about okay, let's see Ohio State versus Texas. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the strength of schedule. Let's take a look at these certain data points and how they finished the year. Really good arguments and some spirited debates. In fact, we actually came up with a different top 4 than the actual committee did a year ago.
What was your guys' top 4 compared to – because the top 4 last year was Boise was in it because they ended up with the bye.
Yep.
It's the highest, the 4th highest.
So we came up with number 1 Oregon. It was unanimous. Number 2 is Georgia. 3 was Texas. 4 was Ohio State, 5 was Notre Dame, 6 was Penn State.
But in the actual seeding, Boise State would have surpassed Ohio State because they were the highest.
Yeah.
Conference
last year
champion.
Ohio State was what? They were 6. Or they were 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was fascinating for us to see. And the other thing that was interesting is that I didn't realize that the bracket and the matchups that doesn't even come into play until it's literally the last thing you do. I mean, so you do the rankings. So a lot of people think, well, let's try to put this team here so that we can get this matchup for TV. And it couldn't be further from the truth with how the process goes. I left the process, I'll say this much, learning a lot about it. I gained a lot of respect for the group, the process, the integrity of the room, the type of people that are in there, how seriously they take it. And I mean, it is really, really important to these people how much film they actually watch. I mean, they watch every game. And it certainly, as you get down to the end, it becomes a little bit, you're not watching every single game. You're watching the top teams and trying to figure out. But I also found it very fascinating that they take it very serious, not just the top 4. They take it very serious, the whole top 25. So those teams 21 through 25, it's just as important, and the debates are just as spirited and heated.
For 17, 18.
For 17, 18, 19, because those things matter for those teams, for coaches, for bonuses. Like, I mean, if you just kind of slapped it together, it just wouldn't be fair to the players and coaches and people that put in the hard work into the process.
Do you think Ohio State being the 8th-ranked team will play and win a national championship will play into how people in this year's committee think about teams that are really good but had a couple losses?
No, I don't think so, because they do it based on merit and based off of the resume that they have. Now, listen, there's no prerequisite to say you got to put X, Y, Z with a certain priority. Like, you may come in there, and Mark D'Antonio may have a different priority. He may be like, you know what, I think that strength of schedule really matters. Some other teams may say, well, let's look at their best wins. Let's look at, how they finish the season, things like that. So different people have different approaches to it, but it was a really fascinating experience. And I would just say that I left feeling so much better about the situation, the circumstances that go into it, and that just rest assured, these people care a lot, and they take it with a high. It's a big responsibility. And with that responsibility, they put in the time and effort.
That's super dope.
One last thing before we dive into all our topics today. As you were doing this down in Dallas, I was watching the Guardians game last night, and I just moved into a new apartment. I've been trying to set up the remote show setup.
Oh, okay.
And the desk I had in my old apartment doesn't fit in my new apartment, so I had to order a new desk. On the list of little things as an adult that give you immense joy and happiness and satisfaction, is properly putting together some piece of furniture you get in a box.
Oh, yeah. The best.
I did not plan on building the desk last night. I was going to do it as a today afternoon situation, but it was sitting there and watching the Guardians game.
You got into it.
It was like the 7th inning. I'm like, let me just start it so it'll take me a little shorter.
Mikey.
I felt like MacGyver yesterday.
Let me tell you something.
It worked out to perfection. It's a rising standing desk, goes up and down. The motor works. I have never been more proud of myself in my entire life. I've got this job. We've won an Emmy.
Yeah.
I scored 19 points on senior night, hit 6 threes in the game. Not even close. None of that came close to the satisfaction I felt at 1 o'clock in the morning yesterday, putting together this new desk. It was
I'm with you.
I can't imagine how fun it was.
1,000%, because I've been given not many. I've got some gifts, right? I mean, one of them is the ability to be very athletic and to be able to talk. The one gift I don't have is being able to do any sort of manual labor. I'm not handy. I feel like I'm less of a man because of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, recently I ordered on Amazon this for my garage. It's an organizer from all my tennis equipment. Mm-hmm. And bro, it took me 2 hours to put together with an Allen wrench. Dude, I felt like
it's amazing.
I felt like Tim the Toolman Taylor, dude.
Bro,
I mean, I really felt like I did something. I was proud. I was patting myself on the back. I mean, I'm walking around like, I'm the man.
It was incredible.
But it's crazy because there are so many people that I know that are so handy.
And just comes second nature to them.
And they could take some wood and put together a damn dresser, build a dresser and make it beautiful.
Yeah, I don't like
and
that.
I have none of that ability.
Shout out to Bob Vila.
Yeah, Bob Vila. Yeah, there you go.
We about to do
Anyway, so I'm with you on that.
It was just an incredible if I had to share it. If you guys have built anything recently, kind of like that, ordered something from Amazon, Wayfair, wherever, and you put it together yourself, let us know what you did in the comments. And keep an eye on that because I'm curious to see what our UCSS viewers have put together in the last couple months. But we got a big show, so let's talk a little Browns before we do that. Ant, what's our first read of the day?
Yeah, guys, today's brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure that you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it's quick, easy, and it's the best way to add a little bit more energy to my Sundays when my fantasy team's losing. So, I have one question to ask. Are you guys ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That's FanDuel.com/UCSS for your first $5 bet.
And if you have winning FanDuel tickets, make sure you guys send them in to us so we can feature them right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. All right, guys, when you look at the board this weekend, take out the Thursday night game. The Dolphins and the Bills play tonight. That's the biggest line of the entire week. But on the Sunday slate, the biggest underdog on the board is your Cleveland Browns. As of this morning, they were 8.5-point underdogs at home against the 2-0 Green Bay Packers. So obviously it's going to be an uphill battle for Cleveland to pull off their first win of the season. But if the Browns are going to do that, we're going to discuss what the blueprint to a victory will look like. So Dustin, I'll start off with you on this one. For the Browns to pull off this win, what has to happen on Sunday? What's the blueprint to upsetting the Green Bay Packers?
Well, I think it's very simple. I mean, you're at home, so you got to get off to a good start, and you're going to have to play really good defense in this matchup. And that's frankly the strength of the Browns, I think, at this point, right? I mean, we know that they're going to get after it. Myles Garrett has been lights out this season, no surprise there. But he and the Browns defense, I think, are going to have to create some turnovers, and they're going to have to be like really good in terms of getting those turnovers, getting off the field, putting their offense in, good situations where they don't have to have a long field. And if they do get those turnovers, you got to get points off of those. I'm not saying it's got to be like a perfect game for the Browns because it's the NFL and our guys get paid, their guys get paid, so you get that whole thing. But it's going to be a challenge. I mean, the Packers are really good. Love is playing great. I love their offense. I think their defense is extremely underrated. I actually watched a couple of their first, 2 games, and I'm like, man, they are damn good. Like, they look like a team, because the NFC I don't think is very, very tough. They look like a team that could be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a really tough early season matchup for the Browns, and really kind of a crossroad game for the Browns, because if they lose this, I mean, you're 0-3. And you're staring down a barrel of 1-6 maybe in terms of the first 7 games. I don't see many wins because you got to go to Detroit, you got to go across the pond to take on the Vikings, and that's not going to be an easy matchup. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a really, really tough challenge. I'm hard pressed to even take the Browns into points this week, guys.
Yeah, this is nasty work, man.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach's arrived.
Zach will join us here in about 10 minutes.
We're gonna get to this, man. Listen, I talk about it. We need an upset special. How do you go about getting an upset special here? Well, listen, I went to OU and Mac school. We always used to talk about it. This is all about breaking tendencies. Throw it out the window. You come out with a completely different game plan than they've seen. I think defensively, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I go to Jim and I say, listen, Jim, you've been in this game. You're a head coach. You've been doing this for a very long time. If you got to empty the chamber, go ahead and do it. If you got to get creative, go ahead and do it. If you got to bring some heat and pressure from Jordan Love and you don't really like the rush, do it. By all means necessary. If I'm going to Tommy Reese. I'll say, Tommy, listen, here's what I need you to do. I need you to be getting them young guys ready to go. I need you to get you break down this college tape because this offense is going to need to change, but I need 6 of your best plays. Mm-hmm. I need 6. Whether you got to do reverses, double passes, trick plays, special teams. Bubba Ventrone, come on in here. Hey, I need your best fake punt. I need your best fake, whatever it is. I need something creative on the kickoff. The Cleveland Browns is going to be wearing the new helmets this week.
Yep.
They're gonna have the new swag. You're gonna be at home. Hey, Coach Kevin Stefanski. Hey, maybe bring a quarterback in. If you want, bring Dylan, put 2 quarterbacks and run some trick stuff. Do something. direct snap Wildcat with Judkins. But what you have to do is you have to get into one of these games, and Dustin is right. When you getting paid and they getting paid, you got players, they got players. If in the NFL you come out and you start slow and another team get momentum, I don't care who they is. It could be a long day for you. The Cleveland Browns is not that bad to a point where if you give a couple punches and haymakers, that the Packers won't be like, oh, okay, we wasn't expecting that. And that's what you need to do in this football game. Bring the excitement level. Get the crowd into the game. You know, the first couple of games, you coming off a loss, you lost 41-17. Come out and get the crowd thinking and get the crowd energized early. But don't come out running the ball and running up the middle and trying to figure something out and getting Micah Parsons into the game, all that stuff. Put them on their heels. Put them in a position where they got to come McNuggets and come get with you, not the opposite way around. They're on the road. I think that's the key to this game, and the Browns trying to get a victory against a really good football team, because I really like the Packers.
It's easy to say a lot of things we're going to talk about in this discussion. It's a lot harder to actually execute them. So just take everything we say with a grain of salt. But it is certainly possible. We've seen bigger upsets in football. We see it every week.
It's not crazy to think the Browns could win this game. I mean, if you played this game 100 times, the Browns would probably win 20.
The P.J. Walker 49ers game was the most improbable game I've ever seen.
And we'll go back to that exact game, because I think the blueprint to beating the Packers this week falls in line similarly to what they did in that game against San Francisco. And you think of all the crazy upsets in football. You go back to the Giants beating the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. It always starts with the defensive front. You have to make Jordan Love's life a living hell on Sunday. And you can when you have guys like Myles Garrett, who I would argue through 2 weeks has been the single best player in the NFL. What he's done on a per-week basis through these first 2 games is unmatched by anyone else in football. Mason Graham would be a great time to get his first sack of the season. Maybe we see Mike Hall in uniform, Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright. They've both been productive in their snaps opposite of Myles, but it all starts with generating that pressure up front so you can drop extra guys back in coverage and pray that Jordan Love doesn't have enough time to pick and choose and pick apart your defense in the secondary. On the flip side of the ball, you're right. You got to get creative. You can't settle for threes. You need six. If you get down in the red zone, I understand sometimes points are points, and we could come here on Monday and Jay Crawford could be super conservative and say, I can't believe they kicked that field goal on 4th and 3 from the 13. Like, you need to score touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
And I feel bad saying this, but Joe Flacco is almost a sacrificial lamb in this instance, because you are not going to beat the Green Bay Packers dinking and dunking down the field and giving Micah Parsons 7, 8, 9 attempts to pass rush against an offensive line that we're going to talk about in a little bit, guys, that has not done nearly a good enough job keeping him upright. The Browns haven't attempted more than 5 passes this season of 20 air yards, G. They have been playing within this little constructed box because teams are playing too high deep or too high coverage because they don't respect the run. Judkins being back in his second week should help. They don't respect the receivers. You have Jerry Jeudy, who else is beating you deep. You're not really scared of Tillman beating you over the top. We haven't seen Jamari Thrash yet. DeAndre Carter's out with the concussion. But you got to dial up some play-action shots here. And Joe Flacco has to be able to stand in the pocket, take a hit, and deliver a deep ball, because you have to get this defense to play back a little bit to open up some running lanes. So I think the blueprint is turn Jordan Love's day into a nightmare and connect on a few deep shots. And when you get in the red zone, you get in that plus 50 territory, be aggressive, go for it. If it doesn't work, it's okay. It's okay.
I would
but you
say
got to
this,
take those opportunities.
to your point, Mikey, the Browns, when they get in the red zone, you can't settle for 3. I mean, 3 points against this offense, just this football team, is not going to get it done. So if it takes 4th and 2 at the 18-yard line, you got to go for it. 4th and 3, like 3 points is not. It's gonna make you feel like, oh, we got some points. We feel, dude, we're not good enough.
It's just gonna make you feel like you lost by less on Monday.
We
only lost by 9, not 12.
It's only gonna make people happy who bet on the Browns, because at the end of the day, you may cover, but you're not gonna win the game.
The demoralizing part about it is, Dustin, is it ain't nothing like sitting on that sideline and you done worked all that time to get these little placebo 3 points here or there, these little stanky little 3 points, and then they come right back down the field. Pass over the middle, 12 yards. Pass over the right, 25 yards. A 15-yard screen pass, they already in their territory. And they end the drive, 4 plays, 86 yards in the touchdown. And you like, bro, it took us a whole decade to get down to get 3, right? It makes you feel as if you're down by more points, because when you do all that to get 3, and they already had 3, right? It's 3-3. They come down to get that 7 and then throw another 7 on you. You down 17-3, and you're like, well, what are we doing now? What we doing now?
It's like in a game where you go like 15-play drive, you get down to like the 3-yard line, you take the 3 points, you're like, oh man. And then you kick it off, and they return that kickoff.
Yep.
I mean, it's nothing more. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Do you know what's such a big game?
You know what I'm saying?
That hurt. All I could do is laugh because I done seen that a lot. It's just it hits you right in the ribs. You like, bro, it's about to be a long day.
Yeah.
Long day out here, bro.
Do you know what else that's a big game for this to go in the Browns' favor? Is Jerry Jeudy. And I don't know if you saw his comments yesterday.
Yeah.
He said, hey, go back, watch the tape. The separation was there. I went back and watched a lot of the All-22. G, I know you went back and watched it. I'm not sure if you had a chance to go back. I am not an NFL wide receiver. I will not pretend to be. I didn't see a ton of separation, G. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying Jerry Jeudy's wrong because he knows better than me, but we've gone back and watched the tape and seen receivers be open and not get the football, and we've seen receivers be kind of open if it was a perfect throw and you could Madden lob it over 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it. Jerry Jeudy's not been good through the first 2 weeks of the season. For the Browns to be the team of the caliber of Green Bay, they need their best offensive weapon to play like a true number one. They can't have a performance like they saw against Cincinnati or Baltimore from Jerry Jeudy and be able to keep up point for point with Jordan Love in this high-powered Packers offense. They need Jerry Jeudy. To have a performance like he did against, maybe not the Denver game, where he had 200 and whatever yards and 2 touchdowns. He doesn't have to go crazy like that, but he needs to have 95, 100 yards and a touchdown for the Browns to have a shot in this game.
You know, Stefanski, I don't know if he talked to you guys. I don't know. I can only go by what he's saying in the media. But you got to bring Jerry Jeudy in the office. And I feel like you should have had these conversations with some of these players prior to the season start. You like, listen, we got Joe playing. I told Joe, we going to play him as long as he's balling. But you know how this league go, Joe. If you ain't balling, the second you're not balling, my job is to get these other dudes prepared to play. You know it's a youth movement, but I ain't stupid. If you got us in a playoff contention and playoff race, we got you. Jerry Jeudy, come on in here. Hey, listen, Jerry, we going to have Flacco playing at first, but more importantly, we going to have 2 young dudes playing. You're a number 1 receiver. You showed that last year. I don't need you to just make the regular joints. I need you to make all of them joints. All of them, because there's going to be some balls that's off target. It may be a quick view. It may be a wrong communication, but I need you to make these guys look good because that's what number 1 receivers do. You put it in the vicinity, you catch it, you move the sticks. That's what we need from you. And I don't understand why I get it. He's a little defensive right now, but we don't need defensive Jerry Jeudy. We need you right. You know, I can't have the ball on the turf, and in this game, we locked in because I'm going to need to catch everything if we're going to be a team like this. So I just wish they had that communication. And I'm going to ask Zach when he come in here. I'm going to ask him what's going on with Jerry Jeudy's hands. I'm confused by it right now. He had a great year last year. First 2 games, it ain't been looking like he had the focus. It ain't there.
Cedric Tillman, too. He used some hands.
We'll get Zach in 1 sec with Dustin real quick. I mentioned Jeudy. Give me 1 player that has to have a monster game outside of the obvious Myles Garrett.
David Njoku.
Njoku. And why's that?
I just think that you may have some opportunities to work the middle of the field in this game, based off of just what I've seen and what I've read. And Njoku hasn't done anything this year, and he was the favorite target of Joe Flacco a year ago. I think it's time for this guy to step up, and for whatever reason, I don't know. I need him to have a big game, especially you talking about getting down there in the red zone. Like, he's got to be a go-to target.
And really quickly, what they did really well with David Njoku was the check release stuff in 2023. They kept him in blocking, and then they would release him out in the flat, and then he was a load to bring down with corners and safeties. Right now, it looks like a lot of Dylan Sampson back there trying to pass protect on 3rd down. I don't think that's working out too much.
No.
With Roquan Smith on him, they're keeping him, making him block. I want to see more. Hey, if the pass protection is an issue, keep him in, check release, and then get him out in the flats and let him tackle him. A little more of that, too.
All right, let's bring Zac Jackson into the conversation, guys. Zac is brought to us today by Mazda, moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible. They remind us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. And with that, Zac Jackson from The Athletic is joining us here in studio. Zac, how you doing today? Thanks for coming in.
Hey, man, come on, man. You didn't get us. Man, this is One Line King.
One Line King
in the building.
Zac
Man,
Jackson.
make sure you put that on the screen. Follow him on Twitter.
Zach, you got a one-liner for us
Yeah,
following
I
that
do.
Ravens game?
I figured that Tyvis is out sick because 2 weeks ago you sat right there and told me the Browns were going to win 9 games. I've been worried about him ever since.
Feverish.
Tyvis was crashing out in our text chain as soon as that game started yesterday.
I've been worried about the guy.
It was bad. He's
There's a lot to worry about with Tyvis.
Don't worry about it. G. Bush is in this chair, and I'm not going to crash out.
He's a sweet boy.
Yeah.
Zach, we just heard the conversation we were having. We're talking about what the blueprint to beat Green Bay would look like. In your opinion, if the Browns are going to pull off this upset, they're currently 8.5-point underdogs. What does that blueprint look like to avoid?
They have to win the way they should have won against the Bengals, right? They have to sustain drives. They have to convert their kicks, convert to red zone, right? And just get it into the fourth quarter and give them a chance. I mean, this defense has made plays. It had a chance in week 1 to seal the game. Didn't do it. And last week, got away from them, even though they played great. So, there will be a game, I promise, where it turns into a high-scoring game because that's the NFL. But probably not this one because the Browns know how they have to win it. The Packers know how they have to win it. And I heard you mentioning it. Like, only 30% of the passes have even gone over 10 yards.
Yeah.
And that's because the way the defense is playing them, they're not letting Flacco rip it. They don't respect the run game. They're not scared of other things. They're sitting back and letting it happen. And that's what the Packers are going to do. They think eventually their front seven, which is awesome, will win out. It was good before they got Micah Parsons.
Now it's very good
Right.
with Micah.
Go ahead, Dustin. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, is there something that Stefanski can do schematically in terms of a game plan to open things up? Or is this just X's and O's? Or is this Jimmy's and Joe's just aren't good enough?
I think yes, they can do things, Dustin, but fundamentally they have to be better, right? They are not catching passes. They are not blocking. And when they're open, they're not creating after the catch. David Njoku is not creating after the catch. If you look at the stats, the receptions, it's like, okay, he's involved. But I can tell you without being in the game plan, every week there are plays in this offense where it is one look deep or across the middle, and if it's not there, you're supposed to dump it to Njoku, and he's supposed to create, and he has not created. And Judy has not caught the ball, and that has killed them. The interception last week is egregious. It's a horrible decision. It's 3rd and a foot if Judy catches the ball before that, and you're not throwing the ball downfield. You're bringing in your goal line package, and you're getting a fresh set of downs. And how do you beat the Packers? By continuously getting a fresh set of downs, and then very consciously taking your shots.
Where I was going to go to Judkins. Looked pretty good. He had 6 yards to carry. Is it a point where I got to spam him a little bit? If Judkins is because we got to find playmakers somewhere, Zach. If he's going to be that, I need to see him in a lot if they're going to get some points on this football.
Okay, so he gets 31 yards on 1 carry in garbage time.
There you go. We was going to get to that.
But he runs through 2 tackles,
Okay.
and you're in no position to be turning that down. Like, that's a boost. That's something to build on,
Yeah.
right? And if he can run through tackles, not even two at a time, but 1 on a play, that's something to build on. So that's their only run over 10 yards in 2 games.
It's crazy.
Over 10,
Yeah.
right?
Is that the line? Is it the fact that are they just washed? Is that it? Is that simple as that?
I don't think it's fair to say that. It's a possibility, but the tackles have gotten killed, right? And so the tackle that's played, Cornelius Lucas, he's washed. He's been a backup his whole career. He's 36 years old, and he's playing because Jack Conklin has played 1 series all year. And DeJuan Jones has been awful, right? And DeJuan Jones got benched last week. He was hot. He probably was hot, but he got benched for underperformance.
I was going to ask about that real quick because there was some mixed signals from how Stefanski said it was handled. DeJuan said he wasn't aware. You're saying it was performance
benched for poor performance. Go back and watch the games. He was benched, right? The guy they brought in was acquired 3 weeks ago for the cost of a 2028 7th-round pick, right? He is a completely developmental prospect who is here because they have no one else. Do you think under any circumstances they wanted to put him in that game?
No.
Right? And then the second time he came in, got called for a holding, and he got benched.
Yes.
And that's what when you get down 24 points to the Ravens, that's what's going to happen. They're going to unleash on you. But they started unleashing on you early, right? The Browns played the way they have to play. They were only down 10-3, and the only touchdown came because you gave up a block punt and a 24-yard scoring drive. And the defense was great all day except for 10 plays, and 5 or 6 of those were Lamar being Lamar.
Yeah.
Right? So they have their blueprint. They have to run it better. They have to create more first down opportunities, and probably that defense has to create turnovers and give them a short field. Because we've seen, 12 plays, 68 yards, 3 points, right? This is just a bad offense, and the fundamentals have killed them.
About the offense, Jason has sat in the chair G's in, and all summer got killed for saying he thought that if it was up to the Browns in a perfect world, Kenny Pickett would be their starting quarterback. Jason always said, with the caveat, I don't think he's that good. I just think that's what the Browns would prefer. We've seen Joe Flacco for 2 games now, Zach, and he's a statue back there. He might be a statue in quicksand. It's bad. He's by far the least mobile quarterback in football right now. Behind a bad offensive line with turnstiles at tackle, it makes everything look 10 times worse. I'm just curious, in your opinion, were you aligned with Jason that had he not gotten hurt, Kenny Pickett would have been the starter this season?
Maybe. I mean, now I've told Jason in a work setting, in a private conversation, at Dustin's wedding, quit saying that Kenny Pickett is the perfect world because there's nothing perfect about Kenny Pickett. Quit saying it. I tell him. I scream that. Right? I mean, do I think that, based on how they went about it, in some window was Kenny Pickett going to be the quarterback? Sure. But if that really was the plan, they would not have traded him for a 5th-round pick. They are not here to help the Raiders.
Right.
They are here to help the Cleveland Browns. Right? And you look at their history, maybe you can make a case that they are addicted to 5th-round picks. Right? But this is the quarterback position. And when they acquired Kenny Pickett on March 10th, they were saying, we are desperate as hell. Look at us. We're going to do this. When they acquired Joe Flacco a month later, they're saying, we're desperate as hell. Look at us. We're going to do this. They weren't going to bail on him in August when he cost them nothing, was under contract, and they know the rookies aren't ready. So if he was the plan, they would have stuck with him and given him at least – because, look, we're in week 3, and there's like 4 starting quarterbacks out this week. Maybe as many as 6, right? They could have got something for Kenny Pickett now. They didn't have to do it on August 26th. They did.
It's a good point.
Well, since we mentioned it, Dylan Gabriel, he is the backup. He was in the game a little bit against the Ravens. Am I to read into anything in that, or is it just they were getting beat bad? They didn't want Joe to get a beating, and they just said, let's go with the young guy.
Yeah, as far as reading in, I think it's a hard no. But Joe was benched because the day was doomed. It was over. Get him out. Mental health, physical health, right? But you get him in the game, you get that experience. Judkins busts the run. He completes 2 passes. You score. Like now, he's done it. Right now, he's been in the huddle in a game. He's faced the Ravens, even though 3 or 4 of the defensive starters were out. Like you made some progress there. So. Look, I understand the thought, and I understand the overarching thought of the guy's 40 and the team stinks. But it is only week 2, and Kevin cannot operate that way because he will lose the coaching staff, the locker room, the players, right? Who's in the bullpen? Dylan Gabriel. He might be fine. But if they were really excited about Dylan Gabriel would play.
Yeah.
Right? It's a gradual process, and until they get back from London and then go to Pittsburgh, where they haven't won a regular season game in 23 years, it's not even worth considering as long as.
So you wouldn't do it till mid-October.
Like this could go really bad, really fast if they decided to go to Gabriel now in week 3.
Because you can't go back to Flacco, right?
And if it's an epic failure, you're going to lose that entire locker room.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden, what we thought is this kind of like, not like a rebuild year, but like get through the year. Stefanski's safe, Barry's safe. All of a sudden,
that's right.
We're talking about like an 0-17 team. Then it's like you're cleaning house.
That's right.
Right?
You can't lose it, and you probably can't go back. I mean, you could, right, in this league. But you get through the Pittsburgh game, and then we'll see. And if they're 0-6, anything's on the table. And they might be.
Yeah.
It might be 1-5. I mean, they should not have lost the first game, but they did. And now we know what's in front of them. People think Green Bay's the best team in the league. Right?
It looked like it.
Detroit got trashed in week 1 by who? Green Bay. Yeah. He scored 53 points last week. You got to go up there next week. We'll see.
The Lions come out a week later and put up 50 on the Bears.
Exactly.
Can I ask one question on that, though? I understand the rationale in waiting. It makes perfect sense, and I'm not even arguing that I would operate in a different way, even though I think I would. By the end of this season, the Browns need to have some sort of decision on whether or not either Dylan or Shedeur could be their franchise quarterback, because if not, I think we're all under the assumption they're going to use one of those 2 first-round picks or package them up to get a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Let's just say, for the hypothetical sake, they make the move after Pittsburgh. So 0-6, 1-5, they make the move after Pittsburgh. Is 11 games enough to get a determination in your mind if Gabriel or Sanders could be that full-time franchise quarterback moving forward?
Do you know how long it is to the end of the season? Even after the Pittsburgh game, it is a long way.
It's still 3 months.
Trust me.
I get
Oh,
this.
no, it's epic.
Right. When they get back from London, they're not even to a third of the season yet.
Yeah, you technically your math is mathing.
Well, I want to add. So Dustin said something where it's evaluation. They say, is there a mandate on how many games they need to win, and from the standpoint of Stefanski and Barry? So, say for instance, hypothetically, they get 3 wins. I don't know nobody that is 6-20 28 that
It keeps a job.
the numbers
Hugh
in 2
Jackson.
years, it's just wild. Like,
Right, that's
It's
just
Hugh,
the
it's
reality.
Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
Under the Haslams, the only coach to make it to a third year was Hugh Jackson, and he won 1 game in his first 2 years. So that's not to say the logic gets thrown out, but there's not a number. But if you have blowout losses, if you have more off the field,
You know how long
stuff,
these weeks get, Zach?
man, it get
It's a lot of
cold.
days between that Sunday to Sunday.
It get cold outside. It's dark at 5 p.m. You watching the games. You're still trotting out the same team. It get to a point where the fans start to be like, hold on. Like we can say everybody good in the summer. Summer ain't nobody.
It's easy to say that.
Yeah, but it just seemed like week 3. It seemed like this is long. Like this is crazy. Like it feel bad
Bro,
now.
this morning I walked into my fitness club where I play tennis at 6:45, and there's a 75-year-old lady who works there. Her name's Terry. She's great, and she says, "What are they going to fire these guys? This is ridiculous. They're stealing money." That's what she said.
Well, look, everybody wants a pound of flesh, right? I see
Yeah.
that I
This is week
mentioned.
3.
I hear it.
It's week 3.
I get that. But we have to look at the build. If this was a first-round quarterback, you might think about playing him now, right? But, like, you made the decision to go to Joe. You made the decision to bring this team back, right? Like, you made the decision to bring Myles Garrett back. Like, you really can't bail after 2 weeks.
It's not Cam Warren.
And Joe was
in the
bad last week.
bullpen.
But Joe delivered a winning performance in week 1.
If they would have won
Absolutely.
week 1, it would have been,
whether
yeah.
it's 2-0, 0-2, 1-1, however deep you look, why is Joe here? For his experience, for his calm, for getting guys in the right. You have to give him a chance to do that, right? And if guys are still not getting open or not catching the ball or not running the right route or all of the above in a couple weeks, you can explore that. But the reality is you're about to go to Detroit, you're about to go to London to play Brian Flores, and then you come back and play in Pittsburgh. So I would let Joe take those punches.
I called him a sacrificial lamb earlier.
them
You're saying the
punches.
same thing, basically.
Yeah, and
Let
Joe
him-
Joe
Yeah.
has seen it and done it all in this league. He knows, right? Like the third question the day he was named the starter and he came up in the podium and did his presser, or like, are you the starter or the starter for now? And he looked at the person who asked it like, I can't believe you asked it, and then he caught himself and said, we all know how this works. And Joe knows how everything works in this league, right?
Yeah.
Joe was Super Bowl MVP and got the contract and got the parade, and about a season and a half later, every fan in Baltimore wanted him out. Right?
Yeah.
And they didn't get their wish for
He's
4 more
seen
years.
every side of the spectrum.
But it happened. Right.
Yeah, so
And Joe started as a rookie on about a week's notice, too. He knows what this is like. He was behind Troy Smith. He was a kid out of
Troy
Delaware.
Smith was the.
I
Troy
was start-
Smith,
that's wild.
yeah.
He got sick.
I guess to play devil's advocate a little bit, I mean, if Joe knows the answers to the test, right? He knows the protection schemes. He knows where people are supposed to be, grasp on the offense, and it ain't looking good. Can we expect that people who may be a little slower processing, who may not have the answers to the test and they're trying to figure it out more, how much success are they going to have if guys are not around them doing what they need to do? And is the roster good enough? Like if Joe flames out at 0-6 and you put the rookies in, is this Cleveland Browns roster good enough to even evaluate whether the rookies are capable?
That's fair, and that comes down to tackle play and getting better at the fundamentals, right? And that's probably reinforces why you don't bail now. But Garrett, if anything, it's a challenge to these rookies right now. They better be on every detail and on everything to get themselves a little more ready and take in a little bit more of Joe of everything else every week because they don't know when it's coming, right? Dylan got that taste. That could end up being good for Dylan and the Browns, right? And if you're Shador, you have to be working your butt off, getting a little bit more ready because it's probably months down the road and it might not happen at all, but it's going to get closer and closer because the reality is if they don't steal more than one win in this stretch, then they're beyond doomed. And then your decision-making changes and then the temperature of the whole thing changes. And, Mike, it's a long way to the finish.
It is. That is fair. How much have you dove into the Packers already? Have you gotten most of your Packers prep work out of the way on Thursday at 11:30?
I mean, I know the numbers of the defense. I'm familiar with the guys that they have and things like that. I did watch most of the Thursday night game last week. So, yeah, but mostly we're in Browns prep mode.
So one of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow, but I want to ask you here is, Matt LaFleur uses all these weird alignments, motions in the run game. Like most of their weird formations, they bring wide receivers. It's to create running lanes and angles and extra blockers. Jim Schwartz, on the other hand, plays his wide nine system. He does what he does. Creativity is not necessarily up Jim Schwartz's alley in terms of his defensive schematics. How do you think the new age or new era version of Matt LaFleur's running game matches up against the kind of old school mentality of Schwartz's defensive scheme?
Well, it's interesting because the number one thing the Packers want to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
And run it with Josh Jacobs, right? They have backups nobody's ever heard of. They get their two carries, 2 snaps at a time. They want to run it with Josh Jacobs. Now, they're coming off a long week here, right? Which means extra time to take what they did in the first 2 weeks and maybe add some things, maybe refine some things. And they're looking at a defense that's been awesome for 6.5 of the 8 quarters. So the counter punch is coming. What we've seen against Schwartz defenses the last 2 years later in the season is coming from Green Bay on Sunday, so there's no doubt about that. So, yeah, the Browns have to stop the run. They were awesome at it last week. Miles has to be Miles, and somewhere along the way, they have to create at least 1 turnover. When this team does not win the turnover battle, they're not going to win a game. I don't care if that's against Green Bay or against Miami.
They've lost the turnover battle in 9 straight games.
Yeah, they haven't forced one this year.
Since week 16 of last year. It's been 4 games now without a turnover.
You go back 20 games. Right, they're 3-17 in the last 20 regular season games. They've been over 17 points 4 times.
It's
20
absurd.
games. It's pathetic.
Absurd.
Satisfied with we talk about Jim Schwartz and the defense. Are you satisfied with the the answer they gave you for the Denzel Ward cramps?
Yeah, because listen, Denzel is perfect attendance. Year 1, year 8, April, May, June. Like when Denzel can be out there, he's out there, and it was hot.
Yeah,
it was. So I think, and Denzel checked himself back in. I think they said game circumstances, get him out. Like we're not doing this. Like Cam Mitchell's obviously struggling. Miles Harden needs experience. We're going to let these guys play. This game is beyond us. As soon as that interception happened and it went back to the 5-yard line, that game was over, and it was time for the Browns to work on the rest of the season.
And to piggyback that, I think one of the guys I've been surprised with is Greg Newsome.
He's been awesome.
When did he get this in his package? I mean, he's been sticky on defense. He's come up and run support. He's been solid.
Dangle a carrot in front of somebody with millions of dollars.
Contract year, Greg Newsome has been an awesome guy. It's just the reality of it.
Playoff Brian Roque.
This is the best version of Greg Newsome.
Yeah, he's locked in. I mean, he's probably doing a lot more than he did in the past in terms of preparation.
Yeah, and some of it might be he's more comfortable playing outside. They've moved him around the last couple of years, right? He's been in this defense. He didn't have any training camp last year. That makes a difference too. We're going to see more Judkins. We're still not going to see 70% Quinshon Judkins because he still has to get used to getting tackled, pass protections, all of those things. And to the opposing defense, that's still a little bit of a tell, right? But you're going to see more Quinshon Judkins because he moves the pile and he looks like an NFL running back, and that's what they need.
I saw a stat that of his 61 rushing yards, 57 came after contact. And I know a lot of that was on the 131-yard run, but still 57 of 61 yards after contact is pretty spectacular and talks about the offensive line not doing their job. We mentioned this yesterday, Zach. When you go back and watch the film, it looked like Roquan Smith was calling out the Browns plays before they snapped the ball.
Yeah.
And they just triggered the thought in my mind back to the Flacco playoff game against Houston with that famous viral clip of D'Amico Ryans talking to whatever, I forget the linebacker on Houston, and saying, they're going to run this, be there, and it turned into a pick six. Is the Browns' offense too predictable because of Stefanski, or is it because of just the Jimmies and Joes they actually have?
Well, I think it's a lot, right? I think it's a slow offense, and the quarterback's not just slow, but the running plays are slow developing, right? And when you're getting beat off the edge and you have to adjust to that, like that makes it slower. So I think Roquan is as good as it gets as an inside linebacker. That's why they traded for him. That's why they extended him. Got Kyle Hamilton behind him. And yes, I think a part of it is when you don't respect their receivers, guys don't have to get in certain assignments. They can kind of sit and wait. Right, Kyle Hamilton, if you watch the All-22 view, there's many times where Kyle Hamilton just kind of drifts in the middle. He's not worried about one side. He's not worried about one guy. He's going to let the play develop, and then he's going to get there in a hurry. That's what makes him so great.
He thought he had the pick on the touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had that in his arms, and it's funny because he dropped the pick last year that led to the Cedric Tillman game-winning touchdown.
That cost the Browns Cam Ward.
It cost the Browns, he should have caught that. And next time, it'd have been a very different conversation. But he had that lined up, and then Marlon Humphrey hopped in front of him, missed the pick, and Cedric Tillman ends up with a touchdown.
Right.
So where
that pass is intended for Fannin turns into a Cedric Tillman touchdown.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. Even when they draw it up and it works, it's not how they intended.
Right.
We've been talking about these receivers for 10 years, 12 years, man.
Yeah, we have.
So let me ask you this. If we ain't got no tackles and we don't got no receivers and we use next year's first-round picks on a quarterback, you probably going to have to use enough if it's above your pay grade, which means you have to trade up to get it if you don't lose enough games. You probably have to give somebody else another number one next year. So that's 3. So we back to the 3 number ones. Where are we? how are we getting tackles and receivers then? I mean, we don't have any money. we don't have any money free agent. Like, where are we getting these people?
You hope Arch changes his name to Peyton?
It's a firepower league, no doubt, right? Why is Tampa with Mike Evans and Godwin and Joe McMillan, why are they taking Emeka Egbuka? Because it's a firepower league. Now, to answer your question, I wanted to make sure I said that. It is a great question. It's why DeJuan Jones being something is important, because he's under contract for next year. You know?
He's the only starter, right?
And it's why it's head scratching that they didn't draft one, right? Now maybe Schlesinger and maybe Judkins are the answers, but if they didn't, then you always should be taking tackles. And now when you don't have firepower, right? The last couple of years we've finally seen Patrick Mahomes look a little less than superhuman. He's still got to the big game, right? But he's not the same high flying guy without Tyreek Hill, without his guys. But yeah, for a decade they've failed here in receivers. I mean, it was 13 years ago that they were so desperate they said, let's go get Josh Gordon. And they lived through one Josh Gordon game at a time or 6 Josh Gordon games at a time. And they wouldn't cut him for 6 years. And he continued to embarrass the team.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. They wouldn't cut him for 6 years because they didn't have a dude like him. Right? But now we're on 7 years since he's been cut. And Jerry Jeudy is the number 1 receiver on this team. And throughout Jerry Jeudy's career, you've seen a game or 3 games of him being a number 1. And it goes back to me, this is a big question. They keep taking on these assets that are at a discount price for some reason. And Denver was not going to extend Jerry Jeudy. They were willing to give him for nothing.
We don't have many sure
They
things
took
there.
Isaiah Bond because they had failed so many places. They have Isaiah Bond playing. Isaiah Bond has no business being on an NFL field right now. Right? So they continue to do this, and it's not working out. And part of that goes to giving up 3 first-round picks for a guy who sunk your franchise.
He's not playing this year, is he?
I don't know. I would say not. I think firmly no. But, I mean, as long as we're in this situation where he is eligible to be activated and we don't have a clear answer, the door remains at least cracked.
That is crazy.
People
But not.
People be wanting
That's a great way to say it. Yeah.
they be wanting to close the door, but they won't close it for them. They would you'd be like, hey, listen, you got 2 of them. You figure one of them out, but then it would be so Browns.
So we get into early 26. They can close the door and watch it. They can do a post-June 1 cut, push all the money forward, and take on all the dead money. And then that would require taking on – that could be much worse product next year than it is right now.
Hold on.
To move forward.
What you mean? Like, do we mean the product on the field?
Yeah, because they could – like right now, like the dead – Watson could be like almost $100 million in dead money next year. And then you take that into like 40 to 60 that you're already – so half your roster next year, half your cap could be in dead money, which you would do to accelerate the future. So like then you're playing up to 30 guys who are first or second year players just to get forward. So it could be worse. And that's not necessarily the way they have to take. But the other way is to have Deshaun Watson on the roster again and have an $80 million salary cap number, because that's what he holds next year. Right now, $80 million, and they owe him $55 after that on the cap. So you can spread it through 6 years, and the cap keeps going up, or you can take it and move on and finally cut your losses.
Zach, let me just,
look, Dustin's mind is like, hold on.
No, I mean, I'm actually thinking about something else, but I mean, that's crazy. Does Baker playing amazing make this even worse? Because by the way, I don't
on the
think
outside it does.
Baker would not have done this here.
No, he needed to leave and he needed to grow up.
He had to go hit rock bottom, do all his things, find Jesus, all the things he's done.
Indisputable.
Which is great for him, and I'm happy for the kid. But he was your number 1 pick. He's playing like a top 5 player right now, and we don't have an answer. We got a $46 million guy sitting on the bench.
Correct.
Watching.
And old Baker would have publicly laughed his butt off at the
I know.
Browns. Instead,
he's
he just
grown
waits
up,
till
dude. I
behind closed
give him
doors.
a lot of credit, man.
Yeah, he is. And they've put a good team around him, and they've drafted well. Right, and he's not been perfect, but what does elite quarterback play? It's deliver when it matters, and that's what he's doing. So
2 weeks in a row now.
But I'm telling you, it makes it really uncomfortable for this organization, because not everyone knows that Baker would not have been that here.
Right.
You know?
So I was looking at something else this morning, and I stumbled back onto the last time they played Green Bay, Christmas 21. It was Baker's next to last game.
Oh,
That's a 4-pick game?
he threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
They could have won that game too.
Right. So I just happened to look at it because I had something else open. They outgain them by 100 yards, and they lose because 4 turnovers. So, like, where have they gone in the 4
Full
years
circle
since?
in 4 years.
Right.
Well, Zach, we'll get you out of here on this, but give us a prediction for Sunday. How do you see this playing
I think
out?
it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be close. I think the Browns lose something like 16-10.
That is
Wow.
That's
Fugly.
fugly.
That is crazy. 16-10? That is a if they're gonna hold them 16, I'm gonna actually count that as a win.
Did the 7 points come off of like a pick six?
I mean, I think they can drag it. I think the defense can turn it
keep it
into
close,
their kind of fight. Yeah, that's what I think.
We'll give our predictions tomorrow. Mine is oddly close to Zach's, though.
Okay.
So we're along the same thinking. And when Zach and I are aligned, Zach's usually right.
I mean, look,
so I feel pretty good
what are
about
line spreads? They're perceptions,
Yeah.
right? And like anytime a home team in the first month of the season in the National Football League is getting more than a touchdown, then the perception is there's a wide gap.
Yeah.
And that perception is probably reality. But I like
If-
the
if
Browns
the
at
Brown-
more than a touchdown.
Zach, just because I know that we're degenerates together. If the Browns had won week 1 and it's close against the Ravens, this spread's what, 4, 5?
Maybe. I mean, Green
6.
Bay has had two dominant
Wouldn't be more than a
performances.
It'd be
touchdown.
5.5.
Wouldn't be
It's
more.
that Vegas,
Would not be more than a touchdown.
Vegas
Probably
line
wouldn't
right
be.
now, 5.5.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Because
it's-
home teams are not usually getting
Never.
more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 5.5, 6. Yeah.
All right, well, that's Zac Jackson. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Read his stuff on The Athletic. Zach, we appreciate you coming in each and
As
every
always.
Thursday to give us some Browns insight. And we'll see you back here in the same seat.
Sounds
a week
good,
from
guys.
today.
See you next week.
All right.
Awesome. That was Zac Jackson. Before we move on, a quick reminder that Prize Picks, guys, is an official sponsor of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Today's episode is brought to us by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
I'm gonna tell you what, McNuggets. Is it bad that after hearing Zac Jackson, I'm accelerating my game plan for playing? I need to. I just talked to the Browns financing and county departments, and I need one of these, either 3rd or 5th. I don't care
hit.
which one it is.
They got
we
hit.
gonna make them hit. I don't care if I gotta get my best plays out. I don't know. We gonna because think about it, man. Like, I need those picks.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't afford to, and that's why taking 2 or even 2 running backs. No, and listen, Sampson and Judkins can both turn out to be really good. They so desperately need a tackle that to take a second running back over any addition to the offensive line, as good as Sampson's been through 2 weeks, just feels like a miscalculation because DeJuan's under contract next year. Do you know who's not? Bitonio, Pocic, Teller,
Everybody.
Conklin.
Everybody
So-
in the
and
St.
that-
Louis voice.
And by the way, that's where we're going with this next topic. Zach kind of touched on it, but we have to address the offensive line in a big picture here. G, Dustin, I am beyond fascinated what you guys think about this. Is the offensive line and its deterioration from where we thought it would be to start the season, which all of us and a lot of media outlets, including PFF, NFL Network, ESPN, had them rated as a top half of the league. Right in that 9 to 12 range was pretty much the consensus offensive line in the league. And through 2 weeks, they have graded out as one of the bottom 4 offensive lines in football, mainly because the tackles, DeJuan and Cornelius Lucas, have been bad. Let's just call a spade a spade. They've been bad. Is the deterioration of the line in whole due to age, scheme, or because Flacco can't move, it's making it look 10 times worse than it actually is? Dustin,
Well, it's a combination of all those things, obviously. I think probably more than most, it's the mobility or lack of mobility of Flacco. That doesn't help things. You know, when you these guys are used to blocking for more mobile quarterbacks. Most quarterbacks, whether it be in college or in this league, can move better than Joe Flacco. And then on top of that, you got guys that are limited with just their physical play. Like, they're just not good enough. I mean, you got a 36-year-old dude who's been a career backup playing at right tackle. That's not to say that he's not. You know, he's in the league.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
one of the best in the
best
world
in the
to do
universe.
it. But he, unfortunately, he's at the bottom end of this league,
Yeah.
right? You know, he's a backup. You know, and he's been forced in there. DeJuan's, as Zach had kind of pointed out there, has not performed to the level that we thought that he would perform after kind of reshaping his body and coming back this year and refocusing his attitude, all those things. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just Joel Bitonio is getting old. You know, Conklin's not playing. He's hurt. Like, it's just.
I'm worried about Conklin, by the way.
It's bad, man.
I meant to ask Zach and Badge about it. I forgot. I heard from somebody that the elbow injury is pretty serious. Like, this is not it's just a little banged up. I'm not sure if that's 100% right. We'll see what happens. But if he can't go and he's out for a prolonged period of time, we have to see Lucas and Jones as your two bookends, it's not going to be pretty, G.
Yeah, let me tell you something about being a large man. When you are, that was crazy.
Just the way you said that was.
That was
waiting.
crazy.
Yeah.
You was like, G. Bush, say something after that.
The tone of his voice changed. Yeah.
You're a little ambiguous right now. When you a lineman, your body always hurts. At all times it hurts. Your knees hurt. You get out of bed and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to play today. And the greatest relief in your life is like the one day you realize that, hey, I don't have to lift heavy weights anymore. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to put my hands on another man that's just as large as me and is more physical and is stronger and just as I'm in a phone booth with these dudes 24 hours a day and your body is beat up. Now look, when Joe Bitonio thought about not playing anymore, that means it's a wrap. When you contemplate, like I always laugh and joke, when you and your wife can actually tell each other the word divorce, when y'all say it verbally, it's all downhill from there because you got to mentally prepare for it. Now all you got to do is the action is going to follow it. Now, but you got to first visualize it and contemplate that. So Joel is trying to make it. He ain't out here trying. He not getting better every day. He's maintaining. DeJuan Jones ain't figured it out yet. You got dudes trying to figure it out. And then you take a look at Bitonio, Teller and Conklin. They've had nagging injuries for the last 5-6 years. And when they play as physical as they used to play, 2020, 2021, them take years off the tire. But there is a couple of things, and it's just not them. It also goes to the quarterback. The quarterback, is a statue at this point. If you get Joe Flacco to move off his spot, you got him. It's a wrap. Mm-hmm. Them are sacks. Plus the scheme is not creative enough. Like you said, Matt LaFleur is moving guys around to get angles and to get levels. I just need a couple. I want to hold the backside defensive end for just a second, and then boom, we got this. Angles to it. The Browns, to me, are simply lining up, trying to run straight at people. No, that is not what they are right now. They better use misdirection. They better have some eye candy here or there, keeping the linebacker steady. They got to get creative, and that's what you're going to have to see because they're not just good enough to run straight at you, and then you ain't got Chubb and Hunt. Like, you got to think back then. And Dearness Johnson was nice.
Yeah.
And Dearness Johnson was a slash cutback dude. The Browns, go back and watch this. Go back and watch the Cleveland Browns. I watched it 2 days ago to figure out whether or not this offense line what it was. Go back and watch the Cleveland Browns versus the Dallas Cowboys at Dallas. And watch the way Nick Chubb carves them up. And then he gets hurt in that game.
Is that the Odell reverse touchdown?
That's the Odell reverse touchdown game. And then Hunt comes in and carves them up. Go back and watch the Denver Broncos game where Case Keenum played and Dearness Johnson had 100+ yards. That ain't coming back no more. They got to get creative in it. They got to figure a way to kind of manufacture some yards. Mm-hmm. Hopefully Judkins can make some guys miss.
I think another part of it is the interior is veteran-laden, right? Teller's been around forever. Bitonio's on his, he was drafted in 2013 or 2014. He's on his 10th, 11th year. They're having to help out the tackles so much in terms of the assignments that I think it's taking a toll on their actual performance as well. Now, if you look at the PFF grades, and once again, PFF's not perfect, but when you're comparing lineman to lineman across the league, I can't watch every offensive line.
Right.
So what we got. The guards both ranked in the top 20 in terms of all guards in football. Both Bitonio and Teller have graded out well. And the tackles, it's not good. DeJuan is literally 90th out of 94 qualified tackles on PFF. Cornelius Lucas has graded fine in pass pro. He's in run blocking, he's been not good in pass pro. I go back to when I played basketball, right? If you have a big, like especially my senior year, we had a freshman big who didn't know where to be. I'm spending half my time making sure he's in the right spot. Mm-hmm. And my focus is now taken away from dissecting the defense. How are they guarding? What's their coverage? If Bitonio and Teller are so adamant each play of, hey, Cornelius, remember we're double teaming this guy. You're moving up to the second level of defense. Or, hey, if they stunt here, I'm taking on this defender. You got this defender. Your focus isn't on what you're actually trying to accomplish. And that's why I think some of their interior plays diminished a little bit. But they've both been solid enough that you can live with that. But when you have a statue at quarterback, I think a lot comes back to Flacco. And this is why I unwillingly agree with Jason that had everything gone according to plan, Pickett would have been the quarterback.
Right.
When you get pressure on the edge, Flacco's not taking advantage of the alleys that are now opened by these edge rushers turning the corner and moving. He can only move up, but he's not escaping in any direction. He's literally stepped, and we saw him run for that 4-yard gain. It looked like we were watching, an Edius clip in 0.4 speed, like double slow-mo. I don't think he's able to escape any of the pressure, even when the line gets beat, but not beaten too quickly. There's opportunities to turn sacks and negative plays into mini positives. Instead of being 2nd and 14, it can be in 2nd and 8. But I don't think Flacco's capable of doing it, and I think it's making everything else look significantly worse. The offensive line has not played good. I am not saying they've played at a level to where that's acceptable, but I think Flacco's inability to move magnifies all of their shortcomings in a way that a more mobile quarterback can maybe hide a little bit.
And maybe we'll get there at some point with Gabriel if he gets in there. Shador late in the year, I think, will probably play a little bit at some point when he's ready. But at this point in time, I don't know that those young guys are ready to go. And because of, we got the experience with Flacco, it's tough to – you're limited. I mean, you really are limited with what the guy can do. I mean, if Lamar Jackson were behind this offensive line, we wouldn't be talking about our offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's – and that's why as a play caller, I think you got to do – like even on the defensive, defensive side, we used to run a creative play called loop check, and basically we would all get up and run to the sideline, right? And the goal of the defense would be like, run to the sideline, and we had a linebacker and a safety. Your boy, Rob Stover.
Rob Stover, 42.
Yeah, Rob Stover was the strong safety. We had a dude named Chuk, and we would just turn and run to the sideline, and we would run what we call the rope-a-dope technique. They would run front side and then sit backside. Our whole job as a defensive line was to make the ball cut back no matter what. If it meant running to the bench, whatever it was, and they would come and they would have Chuk sit backside, and Rob Stover would run off the edge, and we would just tackle people, and they didn't understand what we were doing. But the reason you do that is because we didn't have nose tackles that could take that type of punishment. 2-3 guys. They're like, our nose tackle is 280. Yeah. Nah, they ain't gonna get it done. So they're like, we can't do that. So we created stuff to really scheme up and stop it. And if you're Stefanski, your tackles ain't no good. You know that. You've been watching the film. You've been self-scouting. You know if you ain't got no playmakers. So you're going to have to do your best to get in your lab. If you got to go to a college playbook, if you need to figure it out. Because in college, you don't have some of the same great tackles. Hey, listen, Texas Tech and some of them teams in the Big 12, they ain't got, and West Virginia, some of these, they don't have the elite tackle play or elite receiver play. But what you do I got a quarterback that can throw the ball. I got maybe 1 or 2 running backs and a few skill guys, and I'm going to just accentuate that. Maybe if you got to get creative with the way you move and do things, you can help them out a little bit. But the Browns can't come out against the Packers and just line up and run at them. It's not going to work. That ain't going to work.
Or pass block, which is 5. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the chip and release strategy with Njoku. They've had backstride. We're going to see some heavy personnel and try and use some of the extra tight ends, some extra backs, maybe even H-back, have Fannin line up in certain situations to check and release to slow down this Packers pass rush that has Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, and the
second
underrated. The second most sacks in the NFL as a team.
Maybe they'll find a way to get a package in for Gabriel this week, where it's not like he plays
right,
like the Giants did with Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I mean, just have something for him where it's like in a certain situation,
different look.
You got 5 plays for the guy.
Yeah,
you go or take a series. I don't know, something just to see if we can change something up and try to keep the defense on their heels. Obviously, the running game's got to develop, guys, because if it doesn't, as Zach had pointed out, I mean, defenses are so keen in on the fact that we're not running the ball, so they're going to tighten things up. We're not getting any but not getting ability to throw the football down the field, so you're not taking those chances. So why would they respect it?
Yeah.
At all. That's the only thing the Browns can do is hurt you, is that you give up big plays. Yeah. And if you hear everything in front of you, let them work the ball 40, 50 yards. We ain't worried about that. That's the tough part about it. That's the only thing that I think about when we talk about playing the rookies and playing them. Trust me, I'm you know where I stand. I would have been playing them already. They'd be like, yo, G. Bush is crazy.
It's a bad situation, but the NFL's not fair, man.
Yeah,
it's never an ideal situation.
It's like
they're not going to grow playmakers on trees by week 6, week 7.
Zach was right what he said. What they should be doing right now is being in a lab, understanding where the deficiencies of this car that they're going to drive. You know how you drive in your car and you go to DMV? You know that brake light is out. You know that rear mirror in the van is kind of You got to figure that out right now. So when you get in the game, understand, I can't be down if somebody drop a football. That's the thing that Joe ain't going to do. Like, y'all drop the ball, you see no expression, nothing. You can't be pouting, no, you should have caught that. If you know Joe ain't got no time, what you think you gonna get?
Exactly. We're gonna move on in 1 sec. Before we do, what is a good yard per carry average in the NFL?
I think it's got to be over 4.
Over 4. All right. Well, here's a stat for you guys. I took out the fourth quarter of last week because there's a lot of garbage time in the fourth quarter. So through the first 7 quarters of the Browns season, the running backs are averaging 2.4 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
You're not gonna. You can run the ball 4 times at 2.4 yards per carry. You're not getting a first down.
Right.
That's 9.6. So simply not good
Woody
enough.
Hayes wouldn't like that.
If you can't run, it makes passing the ball a lot harder. So, and let's talk a little no fence riders first. We got to read.
Yeah, guys, today's No Fence Riders is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. It's perfect for sinking birdies and making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. And we all know that golf is about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters Tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025.
All right, Ant, it is time for some No Fence Riders, and I'm out here today, so you're going to lead us through the No Fence Riders. We got 7 questions on tap, and let's get into them.
Yeah, guys, our first fence rider today is, will the Browns score 20-plus points for the first time this season against Green Bay? And I think, Mike, this is our first unanimous answer of the season because everybody is on the no side today.
Yeah, this is tough. 20's a low bar, G. As Zach mentioned, they are 3-17 in their last 20 games. They've scored more than 17 4 times in that stretch. They haven't scored more than 17 in 7 consecutive games. For an offensive genius, a head coach like Kevin Stefanski, that is a tough statistic to swallow, and going up against one of the better defenses in football, I just don't see them breaking that streak this week.
Yeah, no, they're not getting no. Listen, that's why you keys to the game. You say come out, break tendencies, let it all hang out. Because right now, 20 ain't even that crazy. 20 points ain't like.
20 points should be nothing.
That's light.
20 points should be a bad offensive performance.
I feel like 24 points is like what you should be averaging.
Yeah, where you in the game and you feel like you can be competitive to have a chance to win.
We keep talking about how
24.
bad the Chiefs' offense has been, right? Mahomes, it looks off. The last 20 games are averaging 21 points per game. So like as bad as certain things are, it's all about perception. Yeah. 21 points for the Browns right now. We would celebrate.
We'd be jumping up
3
and down for
touchdowns.
joy.
It was the Denver game. Was the last time.
Let that sink in. What are they? 3-17?
Last 20 games.
You know, that's like 14 games under 500, man.
If Zach's right, and I'm assuming Zach is because he's always right on this kind of stuff. They scored 4 games over 17 points in that stretch. That's what Zach just told us.
You can't. You just can't win. And I just every year I keep saying it, man. These other teams that you coming out here playing, it's not just the fact that you can't score points. It's the fact that you're putting your defense in a bad position because they playing guys that got 3 good receivers, a running back, can run the ball, pass the ball, and they got to play lights out to even stay in the football game.
Yeah.
Right? The Browns defense is so good, but we even harp on things like turnovers. We're like, hey, you got to get some turnovers. You're like, but I mean, they held Derrick Henry to 20 yards. The Ravens couldn't put the ball in the end zone. They got the ball how many times in the red zone, and they kept making them kick field goals. The Ravens fans was getting restless, but we counting on them to be supermen to even stay in these football games, which is tough.
All right, let's get to the next one. That was the only unanimous one, by the way. So at least from here on out, we'll have some debate.
All right, guys. So number 2 is who will have more sacks on Sundays. We have almost an even split with Earl, Tyvis, Dustin, Mike, and G going with Garrett, and Jason, Bull, Jay going with Micah Parsons.
So 3 of us all went with Miles. Dustin, why don't you tell us why you went with Miles over Micah in this situation?
You know, it's kind of funny because I said Miles, and then our conversation about the offensive line and Flacco's mobility almost makes me want to take Parsons in this situation. I also did watch a great breakdown by Brian Baldinger of NFL Network this morning.
On Miles?
I've seen that.
On
Yeah, it was
Miles,
awesome.
where he compares him to a modern-day Bruce Smith, which is such high praise for the Hall of Famer. I mean, obviously Miles will be a Hall of Famer too one day, but just watching some of those clips,
Swipe
man,
move.
the swipes, the moves,
Just-
it's so not natural to have that ability to dip and rip and get around and bend.
The
you
bend is-
know?
the bend
And
is the
for
stuff.
The size and the speed and the quickness, like, it's just unbelievable how gifted he is. And then on top of that, he's a hard worker and puts in all the time to do it. It's like, I'm just going with the guy that's I think the best pass rusher in football, and that's Myles Garrett. So that is why I said it. It has nothing to do with the Packers, or I'm not denigrating Micah Parsons. It's like just Myles is just a top-notch guy right now.
It's like, man, you'd be like Kobe or LeBron. I mean, I mean, LeBron's my guy. I know Kobe's all-time great, but I gotta go with the dude that I done seen do it. Like, and to be honest
Like
with you,
which pair of Travis Scotts you want to wear? I mean, you know, it's like they're all good.
they're all good. The colors are all dope. All of them are dope. All of them. The low tops, mid tops, whatever he puts out, they fire.
I'm both good players.
Myles Garrett has he has the rarest set of skills that I've ever seen for like a defensive end, because of his flexibility, like his hip flexibility, his joint flexibility, just to be able to be that low and be 280 pounds.
And bro, he doesn't get hurt.
And just durable.
Yeah.
He flipped his car, still played like a week later, like
Superman.
It's crazy, and so I'm gonna pick him. And plus, this is the biggest reason, because this is these type things when your team is bad. These are your Super Bowls, right? Yeah. I'm playing another pass rusher. It's at home. I need to show him. I need to show little bro that you nice. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm him. You know what I'm saying? And so he'll get up for games like this.
To me, Micah has the better matchup.
Yeah.
But I said earlier in the show, I will say it again, and I am not being facetious at all. We could be in an ultimate Denver sports show. I'd say the same thing. The best player in the NFL through 2 weeks this season has been Myles Garrett. I do not think it's an argument. Offensively, defensively, he has been the single best player in football. And in week 3, if you're asking me who's going to get more sacks, Myles or anybody, I'm going to take the guy who I think is playing better than anyone else in the National Football League. So I understand the matchup. I like the left tackle and the right tackle for Green Bay better than Dewan and Cornelius Lucas at the moment, but I'm not picking against Myles.
How many sacks for the season he got?
He got 3.5. It's tied for the league lead through 2 games.
And they could have gave him a couple. He be in a lot.
He's forced some more too.
And he's had some tackles for loss on run plays.
Yeah.
He's
been incredible.
He's been
incredible.
Lights out.
All right, Ant, question number 3. What do we got?
Question 3, will the Browns have an offensive play of 35-plus yards versus the Packers? We have a dead even split here with Dustin, Mike, Jay, and G saying yes, and Earl, Tyvis, Jason, and Bull saying no.
I hate that this is the second question in a row where we've had almost an even split.
Yeah.
But we're all on the same side of this. Their longest play from scrimmage this season was that Judkins 31-yard rush in garbage time last week. So, G, why are you confident that even against this Packers defense that has been really good this season, they'll set a new season long for their longest play from scrimmage?
Because 35 yards ain't that crazy.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
It's like, I mean, in the league, what do they call an explosive play?
Anything over 20.
It depends on run versus pass.
Yeah.
Explosive, but I mean, I think it's a explosive run is like over 15 or 20 yards, and then a pass is like over 25.
It's 15 for run, 20 for pass.
Okay.
So, I mean, 35 yards, I mean, you can get a 35-yard gain and still have to punt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or still have to kick a field goal. So, I mean, in the NFL, that shouldn't be a thing. But I think the reason I'm encouraged by it is because you do have Juckins. And there's two reasons. One is...
You think it's going to be a run?
Well, no, I think because he's going to have the...
He's going to force Green Bay to actually respect him.
He's a respectable guy back there.
Yeah,
so if he gets a couple 10-yard runs and he's running over corners and DBs, it's like, okay, we might have to pay attention. Then that may give Jerry Jeudy the extra step he needs. Because I think for Jeudy, he's not a blazer. He's like more of a route runner. Like if you say that's what's his best trait, is running routes. But he doesn't have that top end speed where I'm just you let me know, Dustin. You play corner.
Yeah.
I mean, is he like? You're not worried about Jerry Jeudy running past you, is you? Not saying he's slow.
Depends who you are. I mean, if you have good speed, I wouldn't in my prime I wouldn't be worried about him running past me.
Kind of like Tyreek Hill in his prime is like back up.
Whoever I'd be in bail technically.
Yeah, like we gonna keep Tyreek in front of us. Like that's not saying he's slow, but that's not his forte. But if he gets a couple extra steps and you run a play action now and you got to think, yeah, Jerry could get open. 35 yards shouldn't be crazy.
Well, and I think at some point we need to see some more double moves on the outside too.
Yeah.
Trying to create some separation. But those double moves only work really when you start getting play action pass to go.
Got to have some time on those. Got to have a little bit of time on that.
I went with the over 35 for the same reason I said earlier in the show. I think they're going to just have Joe stand back there, max protection, and take a couple shots because they have to get Green Bay to either come down and respect the run or back off and not play in that 10-yard box. And question number 4.
Next question, will the Browns defense hold Green Bay under 300 total yards?
They held Baltimore and Cincinnati under 300 total yards, so that is worth mentioning.
FYI.
Yes. And on the yes side, we have Earl, Tyvis, and Jason, and then all three of you are on the no side again, along with Jay and Bull.
See, Mike tried to give you that. When he sent the rundown, he said, by the way,
I always give you all the context.
by the way, put in this context, and we were still not fooled. We was like, no, we're not going for the play action. They're not holding them under no 3. Because think about it. Even if Jordan Love get 250, I mean, if you hold Josh Jacob in the run game to 75, that's 3-something. Mm-hmm. That's at least 325 right there. Like, that's a good game. Like, if I'm the Browns defense, but no, they got a little bit too much. And they got a sneaky deep core of receivers. I call them the no-name gangsters.
Well, one of them's hurt.
Dobbs?
Reed. Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed, he's hurt.
Yeah.
They got it, but
they still got Watkins. They still got Matthew Golden, their first-round pick. They still got Dobbs. Tucker Kraft's been awesome from the tight end position.
They got a bunch of like guys that just don't have faces, but they'll throw the ball to anybody, which is I don't like that as a defense. I don't like when you be getting all these regular. I would rather load up on one guy, but when they spread it around, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I mean they have so many weapons on the outside. Who's their best weapon, you think, by the way?
I mean, Jacobs. I mean, Tucker Kraft's been their best weapon this year, the tight end.
Do they still got the old boy that's the speedster from is he from North Dakota State?
Yeah, Christian Watkins.
They got all receivers of all different shapes and sizes. They just keep like they got all of them. Like all of them run routes, and I think Jordan Love. I picked him, during the off season. I said he gonna have a sneaky good year this year. I think this is year he actually breaks out where people are like, oh, he's one of those guys.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate just because we've agreed 3 in a row now.
Are there any change? Are there any we disagree on?
So far,
coming
no.
Up?
So far,
you know the list or no?
I sent Ant the list. I don't remember
Okay,
exactly.
Okay.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate for the sake of this.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown is a better quarterback and top 3 weapons than Green Bay. You know what the Browns defense did to them in this stadium at home? 7 net yards in the second half. Now, Andre Schmidt ruined the game. That should have been a dub for Cleveland. But they held Cincinnati to 7 net yards in the second half, in a half where they needed to score. Against Baltimore last week in Baltimore, they shut down Derrick Henry on the ground. Lamar had 4 touchdowns, granted. But he was set up in some significantly advantageous field positions due to the blocked punt, the interception, the fumble, the big punt return earlier in the game, which led to their first touchdown. If the Browns defense can slow down Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, 2 unquestioned top 4 quarterbacks in football. Lamar's the top 3 in any order you want. Joe Burrow's number 4. Well, they can do it to Jordan Love in this Green Bay offense.
Sure.
It's a good offense, don't get me wrong, but it is not a juggernaut by any means.
Sure.
It's solid. It could put up 300, but you know what? They held two better offenses to sub 300 the first 2 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened again.
And who did the Packers play the first 2 games?
The Lions and the Commanders.
Commanders.
Which just happened
Playoff
to be,
teams.
Yeah, that's.
And then they smoked playoff teams.
I was playing devil's advocate. Don't reboot the devil's advocate. Right? and what's question number 5?
Yeah, he said go fast forward. He go jettison that. Go ahead.
All right, question number 5, guys. Will the Browns have a special teams miscue of any kind versus the Packers? It's a miskick, muff punt, huge return allowed, something like that. Yes side is Earl, Dustin, Bull, J, and G. And then the no is Tyvis, Jason, and Mike.
Let me go first on this one, fellas.
Go ahead.
Because we finally disagree here. Sometimes an answer can be too obvious.
Yeah.
It can be too right in front of you. And we've seen in the first 2 weeks of the season a blocked punt, a giant return allowed, a missed extra point, and a missed field goal, a chip shot. Do I have faith in Bubba Ventrone and this special teams unit? No, not even slightly. But at some point, these are basic things that don't happen on a weekly basis. G, you said earlier in the week, when's the last time you've seen a punt get blocked in the NFL?
I've never
These
seen
things happen so infrequently. For it to happen 3 weeks in a row, I just can't see it happening.
It is
So I
funny.
always know.
It's like it happens in college all the time.
Yeah.
Block punts happen all the time. In the NFL, it's just when I see it, I'm like, oh, I guess they can block a punt.
So they went after
can?
that?
They did? Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they weren't even really trying to block that punt either. It was just the guy got lucky. He kind of got through and let him go. It's like, I don't know. But, I mean, the Browns' special teams have been a disaster thus far. And I don't even know that I – like, being a former player that played mostly special teams, I just don't know that the coach matters that much.
I was just about to ask you, like, if you playing, like, say for instance, it's Bubba Ventrone, right? I mean, how much teeth does it have? Where it's like, okay, the special teams coach, he's coaching all of the punt block and the return and the field goal stuff. Like,
I think he's important for scheme on protections, and things like that. But in terms of the execution of the snap, the hold, the kick. Those things just
It's on the players.
Bubba can't control that. I mean, Bubba was a gunner on punt team.
It's not like, I mean, and if there are guys who are starters playing, like, what is the recourse? Like, hey, you're a starting linebacker, right? You gave up a pressure and they blocked the punt. Like, who yells at you? The special teams coach? You're still gonna play on defense, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like the guy. I mean, if you're a backup linebacker or receiver or something, then your job's on the line,
Right.
of course. But
if you like getting minutes, like, I mean, if you're an actual receiver or you're actual guy that plays meaningful snaps, chances are you're not gonna receive any consequences to it. It's like,
not to mention if you're on a bad team, the motivation to play on special teams as a starter
It's even lower.
It's way lower.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen people where they tap them on the shoulder, be like, "Hey, we want you to play special teams," and they're like they start and they're like, "Dude, I don't want to do that."
Well, of course not. It's terrible.
Like, you're like, hey, you see people like, I'm cool on that, dog. Like, don't put me on. I'm not gonna be a gunner today. That's not happening. Or return.
Gunner's the worst.
That's tough. All right, and we got 2 more. What's the next one?
Question 6, guys. Will the Browns force their first turnover of the season against Green Bay? On the yes side, we have Tyvis, Jason, Dustin, Mike, and Jay. And on the no side, we have Earl, Bull, and G.
G, you said no. Tell us why.
Well, first of all, I don't think they're gonna throw. If Denzel Ward is playing, they don't throw on him like that. Greg Newsom's, his thing ain't picks. The only way I could fumbles is fluky. The only fumbles I could really see, you can't count on somebody running back fumbling. The only way I can see it happen is Myles Garrett
Sack fumble.
is a sack fumble. Other than that, like, everything else is too random. It's like parlays in baseball. It's way too random. So no, I don't really see it. But yeah, you tell me how they get in that turnover.
Well, I mean, I think the turnovers are fluky and a little bit lucky at times. However, you can sort of create some luck by, adding pressure. If Jim Schwartz wants to dial up a little bit more and be a little bit more aggressive this week with his play calling, I think that can certainly create some tip passes, some opportunities for some interceptions in that way, in terms of like, hey, maybe it's not Denzel, maybe it's one of our safeties, maybe it's Schlesinger, you
Right.
know, comes up with his first pick of the year. So something like that. I think that they'll get one.
I do too. Jordan Love hasn't thrown a regular season interception since week 11 last year.
He's due.
He's due. The Browns haven't forced a turnover since week 16 last year. They're due. Maybe it's optimistic thinking, but I think it happens. And we got the last one real quick. Jeezy only has to answer here because I know they already answered.
Yep. Will Dylan Gabriel take at least one snap versus Green Bay? Dustin and G said yes. Earl, Tyvis, Jason, Bull, Mike, Jay said no.
You guys can go ahead.
Well, he took a snap against Baltimore.
There it is.
So
Warming it up.
if this game gets away from the Browns, they'll play him.
Yep.
We know that they'll do that.
Yep.
And the other thing I just suggested earlier would be maybe they have a package in for him this week. Maybe there's something that Stefanski says, okay, Gabriel's got a little bit of this. Let's try to give him a different look. Let's just change things up. Maybe it's just in the middle of a series. They throw him out there for a snap or two. Maybe it's a big third down where they want him to be able to use his legs to get outside the pocket to do a little RPO action, something like that. I think he'll definitely take a snap in this game.
I definitely think he's going to play. I got him playing the fourth quarter. If this game,
blowout city?
if it's nasty work the first three quarters, I got him playing in the fourth. And here's how I happen to think about this thing. To me, the best way for Kevin Stefanski to keep people shut up about his job and Andrew Berry is this. It looked like Mason Graham has been playing better. Schlesinger looked like he's good. Judkins then came out and is playing well. The guys that Fannin looks good. The guys he took this year is actually looking good, right? So guess what? If you put Dylan Gabriel in and the Browns offense jumps, they scoring points, and they are competitive, people are going to leave Kevin Stefanski all the way alone because they're going to say, well, at least he put a rookie in. Nobody had faith in the rookie when they drafted him. They drafted him. He looks good. They losing to better teams when they got better talent, but at least the rookies is playing well. And now it looked like this guy, now people is interested in watching it. People is like saying, now we can see how you would have manipulated and got the guys ready to go. That gives you the best chance to keep your job. It's showing people, this is why I'm a great coach. It don't matter. I can get something out of Flacco. I can get something out of these young dudes. I happen to think that's the best way to really make this season meaningful. I don't think anybody has a problem if the Browns play Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel and they look competent, they look like they can throw the ball and they score points, but they lose.
Yeah, I think it'll be close because it's close. I don't see him, but I didn't think of the package situation. If it happens, it happens. I'll be wrong. And let's still read the Stock Gardens before we bring in our final guest of the show.
Yeah, guys, Guardians Talk today is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready to kick off with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes it super easy and it's super exciting whether you're watching your team or keeping an eye on the league. FanDuel's the best way to play. So are you ready? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That's FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet.
All right, guys, we're going to get Bill Squire in here in a minute, but first we have to talk a little Guardians because they continue to win. They beat the Tigers last night 4-0. They are now just 4.5 games back in the AL Central, excuse me. They're still 2.5 back in the wild card, 3 back. I think they picked up half a game, but whatever it is, they're still a few games back. And then today, we get the battle of the aces to close out this series. Scooble versus Bybee. 110 first pitch, guys. This is ace versus ace, even though Gavin Williams has been better than Tanner Bybee this season. It's maybe the best pitcher in baseball versus maybe the Guardians' best shot. Another game that Cleveland has to win if they're going to stay alive in the hunt to beat the Tigers in the AL Central. And, guys, as soon as we've given up on this team, it's been all season. They reel you in, you let go, they collapse, and they draw you back in. And just when we thought they were done, they've rolled off 11 of 12, and they are right back in the thick of this. G. Bush, it's been a roller coaster season for the Guards, but they are playing their best baseball at the most important time of the season.
And your boy Bo Naylor had the nerve. You had the nerve to come up with a clutch hit the other day. and listen, I believe they was up 2-0, 2-0, and Bo Naylor comes up, hits it, they go up 4-0, and they needed those insurance runs. And it just seems like the Guardians have this little thing where it's like, yeah, y'all keep doubting us. Y'all keep counting us out. G. Bush, you always come up here and say the same thing. But when you win 11 out of 12, it's a funny thing that start to happen. You start playing in a way where you actually believe it. Like, the Guardians are at a point where I feel like they actually believe that they can catch these dudes. And if you're the Detroit Tigers, right now you looking in the rearview mirror like, oh, okay. But even more importantly than that, the Tigers' second half of the season has been terrible. And if you're Detroit and you've been leading this division pretty much from bell to bell, even when you get to the playoffs, you feel like you're not trending in the right direction. Especially if they get this one against Scooble today, McNuggets. Because Bobby hasn't pitched like he is an ace, but when you got Gavin Williams who've ascended, and if you can get this win, and Bobby is going against Scooble, now the Guardians just beat they got swept. You sweep the Tigers. Your best guy went, and I believe that they got another series coming up against the Tigers, and he's going to go again.
Yeah.
So now, what you going to think they're going to be feeling when you get to that point, right?
So, when the Tigers and Guardians played earlier this season, the only series they've played before this series, Cleveland won the first 3 games. Scooble came in for the 4th game of the series. Do you remember what he did that game, G?
No.
Complete game. I think it was a 2-hitter, struck out 13 through 93 pitches.
Nasty.
That is what an ace does, right? When you're on a losing streak, your ace is supposed to be the one who, full stop, it doesn't matter. We don't care who you're throwing. We know we have our guy on the mound and can shut down the other team.
Except for the Guardians, because they got him last year in the playoffs.
No, they did. He got the last laugh most recently, but they got him in the playoffs last year. At the same time, Tanner Bibee's coming off his best start of the season. His first career complete game, 10 strikeouts. He's feeling good. This is what you could, like, from a fan perspective, Dustin, you can't ask for anything better than this.
No,
other than being in the playoffs already.
This is great. It's going to feel like a playoff game today. I can't wait to get home and put it on the tube. I mean, I'm excited about this matchup this afternoon because it is 2 of the best pitchers on 2 teams. The Guardians are red hot right now, and they need this game today. I hope he can go 7 innings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just don't want to get the pen involved early, and I don't want to see us get behind because obviously Scooble is
those
lights out.
Numbers
he's
are stupid
good, man. Like he's that good. It's on the road. Guardians have fared well in Detroit. We know that. So I'm surprised. I mean, this is like, I think the Guardians like plus 200 on the money line today.
I just looked. They're plus 195 right now.
Yeah, same thing. So like they're huge dogs, but I mean it's
Yeah.
50 shot.
You know,
I feel great about it. I would take the Guards, spend a little money on the money line.
It's a big game. When G. Bush has to go home, I said, man, I ain't putting no Guardians on in the middle of the day on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Come on now, like because this is
cook you up some same game parlays.
right. Did I just tell you about them same game parlays in baseball? I'm gonna pick a 3-leg parlay.
We got Buffalo Bills tonight.
Two. Oh, listen.
Yeah, tied in with the Bills.
Yeah, you know what? Mm-hmm. You know what, FanDuel? We might have to see me. We might have to see me tonight.
And will you pull up the wild card standings real quick?
I think we 2.5. Mariners. They 2.5 behind the Mariners. I
want to see what happened after last night. They're still 2.5 behind Boston. Seattle is ahead of Boston, so they didn't actually gain or lose any ground.
That's the problem.
Based off
that
Boston.
Sucks.
They are gaining ground rapidly on Detroit, and they feel like they're stuck in quicksand in the wild card. The teams that are ahead of them keep winning too, which is beyond frustrating right now, G, because when this whole thing started, 10 of 11, 11 of 12, whatever it was, I think they were 5 games back. They've been red hot and picked up 2.5 games on the final wild card team, and that's annoying. But
because a lot of those other teams is hot too. Didn't Kansas City just won last night?
Gun to your head, are they making the playoffs, Guardians?
I think they are, because as soon as you quit on this team, that they had this magic ability.
If they win
I was
tonight,
told Mike this morning, I'm back in.
Yeah,
I'm like
Andy
fully
said this
bought back
morning.
in. I'm afraid to watch the games because I haven't been watching them and they've been winning. So I'm not turning it on, but I'm back in.
I'm
I
watching.
may take apart my desk and build it again during the game because it worked last night.
I'm watching. If they win tonight, I will say they're gonna make the playoffs because if they beat Scooble and sweep the Tigers when they have to sweep, now I'm gonna be mad. Y'all can't sweep the Tigers and mess around with Minnesota. I need all the Minnesota games.
And they have the final 6 games of the season at home, at Progressive Field, against 2 teams that they'll be fighting for playoff positions with. It lines up well, but they got to beat Scooble tonight. Easier said than done. He's maybe the best pitcher in baseball, without a doubt the best pitcher in the American League. But if any team can do it, it's the red hot Cleveland Guardians. All right, Ant, you want to bring Bill Squire in now as we get ready to wrap up today's show? Bill is brought to us by Mazda. Mazda's moving the game forward is one of the proud sponsors of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. Those moments do more than just win. They push what's possible. They remind us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. And when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like that, there's more to every highlight. There's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome local comedian Bill Squire to the show. Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We got to get you some Jordans, though, man.
I was just about to talk about he got the ivories on.
I would have worn Jordans had I known you were going to wear Jordans. But I've already accepted the fact I'll never compete shoe game-wise with these two. Like,
No, it's one of my favorite things about the show is to see what you guys are wearing every day. Like,
Really?
Because I have like 150 pairs of shoes. Like, I have so many shoes, a lot of Jordans, and then like a lot of like classic Reebok, all that like 90s stuff that we're all super nostalgic about.
Now that we're like older and have a little bit of money to buy the shoes that we couldn't afford when we were kids.
Yeah, I'm not there
That's
yet.
why I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
I went crazy during the pandemic too, because it's like all you could do was buy shoes. So I was just buying shoes like way too many shoes. But you know,
I found out about the like the GOAT and the StockX apps,
Yeah.
and that's bad.
yeah. Once I figured out the lotteries too, like when
Oh,
man, it was over.
And then you see what messed up with me was like I kind of got it like so I got married first, and then it came like after like year 2, I was just like, yeah, I'm getting all these shoes, and she's like, when did you become obsessed with this? And I was like, oh, don't get it twisted. I just been poor.
Right,
So-
yeah,
so-
exactly.
So it has nothing to do with you in our relationship. This has to do with the fact that I am scarred mentally because I did not get these when I was younger.
Exactly. I remember, like, I just got the Aqua 8s that aren't even like a good looking shoe, but I just always wanted them.
Same.
Because
I actually.
I mean, I like them, but they look weird with jeans. Like,
Right.
you can't really rock them with jeans. They look kind of crazy,
They're like
but
military boots.
Yeah, they kind of high.
Yeah.
But then I got into it where I need to have like, oh, I don't have any 8s. I got like a pair. I just need to have the collection. Yeah.
Bought a pair of
And then you-
15s.
Yeah.
15s.
I don't have a pair of 15s. They're like alien shoes. Sorry.
Sorry, we
Yeah.
bored everybody.
yeah.
Bill's here. You got a new comedy special this Friday.
Yeah, I'm
Tell us a
shooting
little about it.
I'm shooting at the Brothers Lounge right there on 117th in Detroit, and if you've never been there, they do music every night, and then they let me do comedy on Tuesdays, and they are kind enough to let me do my special there this Friday. The early show's already sold out, so there's only a few tickets left for the late show, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's it's a lot of comedy about my relationship with my dad and my mom, and like how they're a little. They're more conservative, I'm more liberal, but it's not like political. It's more just like lifestyle kind of stuff, and it's real fun.
It's called Little Stinker.
Little Stinker, yeah.
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 Where does that come from?
That comes from a bit about my girlfriend and her daughter were out. We were all out to dinner, and her daughter like misunderstood a term, and I like doubled down with it so that like it made my girlfriend look like the bad guy kind of thing, just being a little stinker.
Now listen, man. Listen, you know good and well. You gotta turn in all your jokes. You better turn them into the syndicate, man. You don't, Jimmy Kimmel.
No,
we
dude.
Well, listen, a comedian comes up. We gotta talk about it. Is there anything that is off limits to a comedian? Because when I grew up, we had Eddie Murphy, we had Richard Pryor, and they used to say everything. Like now, it's a little different. Do you feel like there's anything where it's off limits, or should comedians get to say what they want?
Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequence.
Okay.
Right? So I will say that there is, I like to be clever about it. So like I don't have like a Charlie Kirk joke, but what I have are jokes if I was in that situation, if it was me. So like I have like a way of like talking about it without it being like directly about him, because it's on everybody's mind. You kind of have to address it in one way or another. So I found a clever way that I think to talk about it without, still having some respect for the fact that a man did lose his life. Like because it is not, no one should die for that. That's terrible. But I still have to talk about it in a way, and I think it's going to be funny, but also like, it makes me the butt of the joke, not him.
I can't imagine being a comedian this day and age because of cell phones and because of social media, and stuff can get taken out of context.
Well, you know this with radio too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would say something and they would just completely ignore the
10 minutes before?
the 10 minutes before, the 10 minutes after, where
Yeah.
you're like when Shane Gillis got fired from SNL. I was like, the first thing I said was, I understand why SNL did this. They just hired an Asian guy, and it's a bad look for them. But also, if you went through all the old podcasts that I've been on over the years, I would have been in the same boat. I've said terrible things, a lot. And so, like, you could, if you wanted to dig through all these podcasts, good luck finding them. But like, they're out there. Like, I've said some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, like Chappelle does that show in his hometown now.
Yeah.
Where he takes the phones away.
Oh yeah.
The last couple of comedy shows I've been to, they put your phone in
Yeah.
that little
Yeah.
lock bag.
Would you trust that? Do you
Yeah, I trust. And also, like, you know, if something leaks and it goes big for me, that's actually good for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
because
Fair enough.
I need the exposure.
Right.
Like, if you're Chappelle or, like, you know, I was just in New York at the Cellar, and they just put your phone in a lunch bag now. They'll just, like, put it in, like, a brown paper bag and be like, hey, don't be on this right now, kind of thing. So, like, there's all sorts of ways of going about that. But at the same time, you can't stop creating just because you're afraid something's going to leak. Like,
Yeah.
Do you have? So obviously, you know, when you're in, like, I guess we're in public life, right? So we sometimes talk about our significant others. We talk about our family, our lives. Do you have any? Have you ever gotten in trouble with the people that
All
are
the
in your
time.
life where it's just like, dude, I didn't like that joke, and you're like,
I got one that I get in trouble with every time because it goes viral from time to time, and then my ex-wife will get mad because and like
okay.
we're pretty cool, like we get along, but she just doesn't like this one joke because it's
yeah.
I can't say it on here,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's funny. Like I'll tell you off the air because
And so does she call you like, hey, dude, come on, man?
she's like, stop posting that. I'm like, I didn't post it. I got reposted. Like, and,
You can't control
but
it.
I posted it because I'm a little stinker.
Bill, you're from Cleveland.
Yeah.
You're a Browns fan.
Yeah.
We talked about it last time you were here. Do you ever tie the Browns into any of your comedy acts, or are they
From time
enough of a
Yeah.
thing by themselves that you don't have to?
So like, there's other people that do it so well. Like, you know, like Mike Polk is so good at doing like Browns jokes that like I've always like if I think of something in the moment I throw it. But I've never tried to like butter my bread with just being like the Cleveland sports guy because I'm just like I kind of want to keep those worlds a little bit separate because I just want to be able to enjoy sports or not enjoy it and not have like everybody look at me and be like, oh, what's Bill gonna say about the Browns in the situation? So like, I tried doing it for a little while. It's not my thing. And also like, it's just so redundant now with them being so like
Right.
hard to watch. But like, I do think they're gonna sneak one out this week though. I do think they're gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a low scoring game, but I think it's gonna be like a fumble return for a touchdown and like a 14-10 win.
Someone told me that the Browns are basically the sports version of a comedy special.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that line of thinking?
No, because I don't watch every comedy special, and I do watch every Browns game still. Like I can't. Yeah, no. I mean, they find the craziest ways to lose and just be disappointing, and like there's always something new. Like I mean, from week one with the kicks and stuff like that, and then last week like looking like we were in it in the first half, and then the second half just completely falling apart. It was just it's amazing, but. I love them. Go Browns.
So outside of the Browns, making fun of the Browns, like when you travel around, you go to other cities. I mean, Cleveland has this, I don't know, like negative view from outsiders that we're like a crappy town or whatever, and it couldn't be further from the truth. We know that. We're from here, from Northeast Ohio. Do you like make fun of yourself because you're from Cleveland to just kind of get on the level? Like, is that an icebreaker?
Yeah, like it's kind of an icebreaker, but it's also like one of those things where like every town kind of has that outside of like New York and LA and like Chicago, Miami maybe. But if you go to like Kansas
Those
City
towns
or
suck too, by the way.
yeah, right. Like and everything's like perspective anyway. Like there's good parts and bad parts of every city.
Facts.
Like, but if you go to a place like Kansas City, it's about the same as Cleveland. Respect-wise from the rest of the country, they just have a good football team right now, or they did 0-2 as well. So, but it's fun to go to those cities and like do jokes that are kind of just, you know, make fun of their city a little bit and rip on their city, and you know they'll be like, "You're from Cleveland." I'm like, yeah, but that's why I can do it because we're like, you know, brothers in being
Badge of honor,
bad
man.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was last time I was in Kansas City, I was talking about Andy Reid's son and all his troubles, and it crushed. They love that.
That's so crazy. Like, have you ever got out there where you writing and you're writing a joke and you're like, man, this is gonna hit, man, this is gonna be crazy, and then you go out there and you say it and it's like, dang, y'all didn't really even react to that, and then you something you thought was just a segue or something that turned out to be super funny.
All the time that happens. Especially, it's like when you're really excited about like something you say on here too. Like you're like, this is gonna be, and then it just kind of falls flat. Or like, and you're real good with like the titles and like the clickbaity kind of things. You're like, this is the one.
This is it.
Yeah. And then you're like, what? Where? What?
It was
Nothing?
5 years.
Yeah. Happens all the time.
The comments ain't even there. I'm like, where's the comments? I need this to be hot. It ain't hit that way.
Bill, what's your creative process in coming up with a routine? Is it sitting down and actually trying to write out jokes? Is it taking notes on daily stuff that happens to you?
It's more like shower thoughts and driving thoughts. Like I'll think of something while I'm driving or while I'm in the shower or something, or just like going about my day. Like I wouldn't say like I meditate, but I play a lot of Madden. So like, but like I play Madden on the easiest mode sometimes just because I want like I want to like get.
You want to be doing something.
Yeah, doing something so that my mind can wander, and then I can be like, oh, that's a good idea. I should write that down and then flesh it out. So like it's more of like finding something to do that's kind of mundane and kind of monotonous, and then letting my mind wander and letting the ADHD take control, and then all of a sudden I got new jokes.
Do you have? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is there somebody in your friend circle that is like your go-to to run stuff by?
Yeah. I got my buddy Joe Briggs from Parma. I see the Flamingo over there. He lives in New York City now, but we'll like call each other probably once or twice a week and just run bits. And then my buddy Raj, who he's real fun to run bits by because he's from India, and then he went to school in the Middle East, and now then he moved to Arkansas, now he's in New York City. So he's got like a really eclectic like world view. So it's fun to run jokes by him because he can see things from so many different angles because he's lived in so many different places.
The last thing before you have a question, Garrett, is like delivery is so important with a joke and how it comes out and like the pacing and all of that, you know, when you have to maybe wait a second to let the audience, like all that is a skill that and a gift I think that you guys have. I don't think I have it, and you know that's why I talk about sports. Thank you. But I'm saying like.
But you can touch your toes.
That, or is that just something you have?
I mean, it's like there's some natural parts of that, but then as you learn to like hone it, it becomes more of a tool or like just a skill to really use that timing and use that rhythm to make things funnier and like bring things up and bring things down. And you see, you know, a guy like Chappelle's a master at it, right, where he can kind of lull you into like a false sense of like, oh, this is kind of, and then boom, hit you with something out of nowhere with almost just a look or even like, you know, one word or something. So it just takes time and then like building on that natural talent. Like you had, like, you know, you guys are athletes, so like you were naturally talented, but then through work and, you know, just muscle memory and all that stuff, you get better and better at it.
How big of an industry is it to be like? Is there a soft underbelly of comedy writers?
Well,
where like you like, have you ever wrote for anybody, or is there a known thing in the industry where there's people that like, I wrote for this guy, like it's some rapper or something?
Well, so there is a lot of that. I've written for a few like things here and there. Actually, when Joe Thomas got inducted to he didn't ask me to do this, but I had his phone number, so I just texted him some jokes for his Hall of Fame speech, and he's like, "These are funny, but I can't use any of these."
Are any of them appropriate to share?
No, I can't do that.
Man.
So there is like my one buddy. His name's J. Chris Newberg, and he's been like he writes for a bunch of TV shows, and he's like, you probably seen, he does like this thing where he wears a bucket hat and like says something crazy and then does the more you know thing. He's pretty popular on social media, but he's written for everybody. He's written for the Emmys, the Oscars. He's done all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of that. But being in Cleveland, I don't do as much of that. I do stuff like help someone write a speech for a wedding.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to text you as soon as we get off air. I need to know what these jokes to Joe
Okay.
Thomas
All right.
At least you can share them.
I don't know if I have them anymore because I got a new phone, so I don't know if they're still. But if
off the top.
But we got 2 minutes left, so real quick, once again, plug the special on Friday.
Yep. This Friday, Brothers Lounge, you get tickets at BillSquire.com. There's only, I think, 10 or 15 left for the late show, so if you want to snatch them up now. Then it'll be out on my YouTube channel, hopefully within like the next week or two because I'm going to be the one editing it, so I got nothing else to do but that.
So
And my, real quick, my other,
That's
my other
crazy.
question, then you got one, and we'll wrap up.
No, I was just
When you-
wondering what is that? Yeah.
When you put out a special, are you slicing and dicing the best bits from the early show and the late show
Yes.
into just one?
Into one show to make
Okay.
it look seamless.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I got,
Is that how they all work, by the way? Like if you see
pretty
one on
much like,
Netflix?
well, so last special I did at the Agora, and I couldn't sell enough tickets to do 2 shows, so I had like one take. And I got it. So like I was,
Hell yeah.
because I've been running this material for almost 2 years now. So like I know what I'm doing, except for like a thing or two here and there, because I like, it's more topical.
Little ad lib, yeah.
Yeah, a little ad lib, but it's So you try and get the best you can at the first show, and then you get a little looser for the late show and see where it goes with that. And it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be a blast.
man.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
man.
Brothers Lounge
Yep.
this Friday. BillSquire.com for tickets.
Yep.
Early show's sold out. Late show's 9:30, right?
Yep.
9:30, and if you want to go see Bill, we'll highly recommend it, and go check him out.
And if you need to know where to park, I post it because I know this is a thing with people. Like you want to know where to park. I posted a video on my Instagram at Bill Squire that tells you where to park, and don't park at Arby's. You'll get towed.
You heard it from Bill. Do not park at Arby's. It will not end well. It'll make Lil Stinker a terrible night
Yeah,
for the
we don't
rest
want
of you.
that.
Bill, thanks for coming in, man. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Appreciate it, man.
as always. All right, guys, we got super chats and furniture chats to wrap up today's show. We're going to get Bill out of here and get to those after a quick reminder that Prize Picks is a proud sponsor of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, the daily fantasy app, where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks, it pays to be right. Super Chats today are also brought to us by 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy. This grape, ginger, and lime flavor brings the shot of the iconic taste of a golf course to your favorite non-alcoholic boost. It's perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course and need a little extra push to power through your day, use 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to. Without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart, now you can amp up for the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. Purchase is necessary. This does exclude the Masters. The promotion ends on October 31st of this year. All right, Ant, we got some furniture chats and some super chats.
Yeah, guys, I'll do our 3 furniture chats here because Mike here asked for them. But the first one comes from Nick. The process of building my home gym feels so good. Kay DeLass says the last weekend they spent putting together their son's twin bed. And then Aruvo also, I hope I'm saying that right, built a standing desk and stuck a mini treadmill under it. It was a revelation while working from home. My girlfriend has that set up at her place.
My new desk is a standing desk. I don't really work from home that much, but maybe I'll put a little treadmill in. A home gym is like goals. Like that is I need to make a lot more money before it's possible and have a home to put a home gym in.
You know what, Dustin? I don't know how you feel about it.
What's that?
Home gyms, it's like I kind of want to go out to do my work because it gets me out of the house and it makes me like it's a destination. I don't know how you feel about it.
So I have a home gym. It's more than enough to get the job done. I mean, it's a nice setup, but it honestly, I'm with you. Like I like to go to the gym. It gets me out of the house. Like even that 5 to 10 minute drive to the gym, it kind of gets you like centered and focused on what you're gonna do, as opposed to like I go to the basement, and it's like, the Xbox is right there.
Oh man,
Fair.
You
No,
know,
it's
I find
Netflix
stuff.
is there. You know,
Okay.
it's like I don't know.
Especially
Something
when you
about
got too many TVs. Like it's a TV in the office.
And it also kind of gives me like weird vibes from COVID. Like I'm like I want to get out the house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tired because like COVID, I was in the house like working out like crazy. You know.
Yeah.
At least
All right, that's
maybe not like
valid.
crazy, but trying
Valid.
to. Yeah.
I want enough money to have a home gym and still pay for a gym.
There you go.
Now I
right.
do want a home tennis court. That
Right.
I will
Yeah,
use.
there you go.
And we got 11 super chats. Let's get to them.
Yeah, first one from Aggie Fury 101. No more love for Stefanski, scared offensive playbook.
Okay.
Jimmy from Cleveland says receivers don't respect Joe Dangerous's passes.
Okay.
Aggie Fury 101 also says, I hate the logic here. You're not winning right now. You have nothing to be conservative about. The only positive has been the rookies. Put them in.
Well, I can't hate
So
on
it's
that.
hard to argue with it. Yep.
Miss Bell 70 says, can go bad. It's already bad. Flacco's not Benjamin Button. I hope someone wants Shador Sanders and they let him go. This can be a career ender for the upcoming QB. Anthony Riston says, just wondering if y'all heard about JOK tweet, and maybe it's just a fan of me, but I'm hopeful that he's getting the ball rolling and he's coming back. Go
Yeah,
Browns.
Did you guys see it? I could
Yeah,
not decipher
I
what
couldn't-
the heck that meant. I had
I was
no
gonna
idea.
talk about it, but I couldn't quite. I didn't know if he was talking about the season ain't over for the team, or it ain't over for him. Maybe it's just
Did you see it,
him
Dustin?
being in his diary.
No, didn't see it.
My guy Xavier P, you know Xavier
Yeah,
P.
yeah,
He
yeah.
texted to me and goes, "Do you get this?" And I read it like 7 times. I'm like,
Yeah,
"No." And I understand what he's saying. Like it's English.
he's
it
a
was-
deep guy.
It was cryptic. but like,
He's spiritual, but he was saying something about like, a star, and people couldn't see the star for a while, but then the star came back because it was brighter and it was burning more, and it was like, all right, yeah, dog, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Salute, you know what I'm saying?
the conversation we just had, I thought about putting it on the rundown on Wednesday, but I was like, this is the.
I didn't understand.
I didn't know what it meant.
Really
so.
meant.
We
So,
saw it. Hey, hopefully it's a speedy recovery for Jay. Okay, hopefully he's
Yeah.
doing well. But yeah, I don't know how to decipher that one. And next.
All right, Kirk Davis has 2 here. Do you guys think DG will get in this game? We answered that during Fence Riders. And then also at 0-3, do we dismiss the season?
Yeah. Yeah.
all depends. All depends on what your goals is for the season.
I think he's saying it's a play. Like you're not making the.
Oh,
playoffs, you're
nah.
saying no.
I mean, they don't. No.
Now, different teams, different circumstances. This Browns team at 0-3 is no shot at making the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they not. This season is about trying to figure out if you got some people, dog. They don't have enough to make no play. I mean, these other teams. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens didn't play a devastatingly great game, and they had 41 points.
Next, Dan.
XP Gaming says, should we have used our timeouts to give DG one more drive?
No, I think when you're down like Dustin, when you're down like that, just get out.
You trying to get out.
Injury
people,
free.
Get the hell out
Also,
of Dodge.
he scored a touchdown on that drive.
You want to
The vibes are high. Like
Good
you
note.
end that, going to the locker room, DG feels good about himself. It's over.
Wait that out.
All right, real-time Ant. We met yesterday. Nice meeting McNuggets, Jason, Anthony, and Steve Squared at Local West. It was a fun lunch. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was great. We were out. We got lunch yesterday with EP Steve. We met a fan. Ant, it was a pleasure to meet you. We had 2 Ants, 2 Steves, a Jason, and a Mike. So shout out to you, Ant.
One heck of a crew. Kirk Davis says, should we try and get Chip Kelly for our next head coach?
Hell of an OC.
He can call plays.
I don't know.
He would not be the direction I go in, but if you brought him on as an offensive coordinator, I could talk myself into it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough talking.
I like Kev, man. I like Kev.
It's tough talking about. It's 3 games in. It's tough talking about the replacements that
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
going.
Chip Kelly couldn't do anything with this offense either.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we talk about we just don't got no ball player. We got some, but they young.
It's not enough.
We got a lot of holes, man. A bunch of them, like a bunch of holes.
I've used this
man.
analogy before. I'll say it again, but just think about the Anchorman fight, the Anchorman scene where all the news crews come with different varying weapons. The Browns are the lowest on that totem pole. And we got 4 more. Let's get through them.
Yeah, Daryl Green says, this guy, we got 15 more games to play, and he says no to Kelly, by the way. Daryl Green says we expect Stefanski to make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. He has had the worst QB play in the NFL history in the past 20 games. Check that stat, Mikey. Brad Schrack, I think is how that's pronounced. Are we overlooking the chance of a few weeks of Bailey Zappi if DG and Shador Sanders are deemed not ready? He's a veteran with little invested. And then Miss Bell give her prediction of Browns 10, Green Bay 42.
If Bailey Zappi starts a game this year, and it's not because everybody else is on the injured list, I'll shave my head.
I think there's a chance.
That's a lie.
This is wild. I think there's a chance you will see Deshaun Watson before Bailey Zappi.
You said it.
Yeah, I did say it. I agree with that. I'd rather see Deshaun than Bailey Zappi.
I think you would see him before Bailey Zappi. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, at that point,
honestly, guys, I mean, the ship sailed. All you're doing is just gonna like disrupt everything.
I'd rather the chaos than whatever Bailey Zappi gives me.
if you
At least we
don't,
could talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
if you don't think either one of them is ready to the point you have to play Bailey Zappi, why'd you draft either of them?
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. That could
And
be-
if they ain't ready, get them ready, right? Like, I would be like, hey, you guys, I'll be knocking on their dorm room. Hey, I hope you're in that playbook. Time is coming.
yeah.
You might want to get ready. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, get ready.
Let's hope that we are never in that situation where we have to even consider Bailey Zappi the potential starter for the Browns. That's going to wrap it up for Thursday's Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We'll see you in overtime in 3 minutes. Peace.